Stop that. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah, hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. We can't go up, man, forget my peace. We take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Not so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
It is a good thing that Billy Gill is suffering the F1 punishment today because he is wearing an outfit that is flame retardant. And the reason I bring it up is because the last thing that Greg Cote just said to me before the microphones came on, and I'm a little worried about just today in general, but this in particular. Greg Cote just said out loud, not 30 seconds before we started, is anyone up there minding the oil? He's got bubbling oil upstairs and on the 11th floor, and Billy's been worried that today's Turk off. It's a big day between Greg Cote. Greg Cote says he makes the best turkey. Roy Bellamy says he makes the best turkey. Roy Bellamy right now is standing over his oils and turkey, but Greg Cote is here, and there's no one on the 11th floor with Greg Cote's bucket of oil.
In an enclosed garage, which somehow someone approved.
Enclosed is debatable. I think there's a window somewhere in there.
Greg, when you left the 11th floor, was anyone there tending to the oil? Or
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I set the oil on low.
Right.
So it's probably not boiling and bubbling yet, but as soon as it does, as soon as it gets up to temp, I want to drop my bird. And I don't know exactly when that is, because normally when I go through this process and cook Greg's deep fried Cajun bird, I'm babysitting it the entire time. I'm watching the oil come up to temp.
Right.
I'm constantly watching the bird. And so this is a little unusual doing it remotely. I'm 8 floors away from my oil right now, and I'm feeling, I'm feeling a little nervous.
Is there anyone up there watching what could be bubbling oil? This seems irresponsible.
There is a fire marshal on hand. So to
But like a
observe
real
all of
one, or
this.
like I'm a race car driver today?
There's a person that we're calling a fire marshal on hand.
All right.
We're calling it.
It's Lewis.
Okay, so we don't have a fire marshal, but at least we have someone. So someone is minding the oil.
Yes.
You asked me that question. You wandered away from the oil without knowing if it had a minder.
I was told to be down. I do what I'm told. I'm
Since
just,
when, Greg? Do you have a back in my day today?
No, because my
Turk off.
It's Turk off day.
Right.
I contributed a brand new Yeti and I contributed a brand new song to the show. I thought that was enough.
We haven't played that yet.
I've heard about that song. Mike, can you get that song for me now, please? And we will check in with Roy in a moment. I saw he appears to be in one of the lovely Elser suites where he is responsibly minding his oil. Greg Cote, we're going to have to send Greg Cote up to make sure everything's okay with his oil and probably send a cameraman with him.
Roy doesn't have oil, just so
I
you
was
know.
going to say, why do you keep referring to Roy's oil?
Mm-hmm.
He's doing the classic oven roasted turkey.
Okay, my fault. I thought the Turk-off was fried turkeys against each other.
No,
I'm sorry for not knowing. These
O
are
versus O. Oil versus oven. Right, Roy? Nice chatting with you.
You threw it to Roy?
He was on the TV. I thought he was listening. Oven versus oil. O versus O. It's like that's a way to promote it,
Debate as old as time.
That's right. Thank you, Billy.
Roy, can you indeed hear us from that suite in that room that Greg Cote was not supposed to throw it to because he is not a professional broadcaster?
Old versus odd.
Roy?
You guys. I can hear you guys. You guys are chopping right now, coming in and out, just like I chopped the shallots for my turkey. So you're coming in and out right now. So But we are halfway through the cooking process right now. If you want, I can show you.
Yeah, let's see this bad boy.
Before I baste it.
Well,
see
hold
the
on,
bird.
but hold on. There needs to be a little. Hold on. There needs to be a little.
Okay.
There needs to be a little tease.
Foreplay?
Yeah, you don't want to go just straight to the Turk off. You want to slow it down, lubricate the surroundings. Can you tell me, Roy, how confident you are that you're going to be able to defeat Greg Cote in this Turk off?
Well, right now I am at 70% because I'm not using my normal turkey. I'm using a store-bought turkey right now that was already brined.
Did you,
so I
catch
have
it
to
yourself?
Cut down my brine time in half. No, I did not catch it myself. No, I go to an actual butcher for my actual turkey. So, fortunately, I wasn't able to do that. And
Why
I
not?
tweaked the recipe a little bit
it
because it was last minute. You guys just thrusted me into this Turk off. I'm
Man,
sorry.
there's been a lot of excuses
I mean,
headed
you
into
had
this Turk
weeks.
off.
Like, you had weeks. I don't understand.
Thanksgiving was like 5 weeks ago.
You had weeks. We talked about this weeks ago. Like, look, this is what I know, and I can say this without dilution.
Weeks?
What I will say without dilution is, since we first talked about the Turk off to now, you had plenty of time to go to the butcher and get a turkey.
No. First of all, I must have missed those meetings because I was told about this 1 week ago. And that's why
That sounds like a week.
Nope,
Plenty
not
of
enough
time,
time.
though.
Not enough
enough
time to get a turkey in a
By
week.
the way, all of this was an answer to the question.
What, am I a miracle worker? I can't get you a turkey in a week.
I'm at 70% right now.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at LeBatardShow. Is 1 week enough time to get a single turkey?
He said that like he gotcha.
Yeah, he really did. I didn't have multiple weeks. I had a single week.
Here's an impossible timeline. Week.
It seems like 1 day would be plenty of
No,
time.
no, this is like the equivalent of the Mission Impossible movies. When I think of how hard, the degree of difficulty, this is the hardest thing we've ever asked Roy to do. Get a turkey within a week.
In Roy's defense, we don't know where the butcher is.
He coaches the Knicks.
Hey.
I can just imagine we're gonna need to find a turkey in a week. I got a guy.
I want you guys to understand.
And it's gonna cost you.
I asked Roy the question how confident he was. That's what we got as an answer without ever getting an
No,
I'm
the answer was
unconfident.
70%, Dan. 70%
It's
was
a
the
terrible answer. Here's Greg's song. I'm fading you down. A week to get a turkey.
His name is Cooper, good at running curls. But when his hammy got a tear, he saw Puka standing there, his blade diminished. Hostile take over. Nacua hopped into the car. McVay has maybe found a star. And then Matt Stafford threw him 25-2. Oh, there's a brand new kid in town out of BYU. They call him Puka. Puka Nacua. His quarterback is not named Tua. Yeah, he is Puka. Puka Nacua. Fantasy assassin, it's the time to cash in. Yeah, it's Puka. Don't need the glove. Don't need the glove.
His quarterback is not named Tua.
Yeah, rhymes with Nacua.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Toe tapper.
Yeah, Yeti Blanc, by the way, a genius. How many takes did he have me do to get that song just right? Especially
Who are you asking?
on BYU alone. I had to no.
Right.
He's like, no, don't go BYU, go BYU. And, you know, it's just.
But you were asking us as if we knew. You
I
were
know.
there. You did it.
I
you
know he's a
Right.
perfectionist. Thank you, Yeti, for that.
You are clearly not. You are
Correct.
whatever the opposite of a perfect. You're an imperfectionist.
I am.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Is Greg Cote an imperfectionist?
Yes, he is.
Go ahead and get out of here. Take the camera person with you and get us a shot of you and the boiling oil. And how confident are you that you're going to be able to defeat Roy in the first annual Turk-Off?
Well, I heard a lot of excuses from my worthy challenger, and I don't play that. I don't play that game. I'm 100% confident.
Made a series of excuses before we went to Roy.
I've done this a million times. The bird, I have about a 95% success rate with Greg's deep fried Cajun bird. We're going to jack it up to 96% right now.
Nice.
Thank you.
Are you going to be barefoot when you do it?
Yeah, it's a tradition. When I drop the oil, I will be. Yeah,
The bird
just
in
when
the
I
oil.
drop the oil.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you go to your butcher to get the turkey?
No. I grew my own. I raised it. I raised it from a little tiny baby.
And I killed it.
Yeah, but mercifully, with a hatchet.
Puka Nacua. His quarterback is not named Tua.
So you beheaded a turkey.
Yeah.
Mercifully.
I'm just kidding. I bought it at an unnamed.
It was done
local
for
market.
him.
Who are going to be the judges on the Turk Off? Who
Our
are
bellies.
everyone? It's everyone's bellies. Are we voting? We're going to vote for whoever it is produced the best turkey. I'm not confident in Roy right now.
I'm confident.
Well,
and
Roy's not confident in Roy right now.
The judging of this contest is going to be pretty straightforward. We didn't overthink that. We're going to watch two dudes Turk off, and then afterwards we're going to taste it.
Now, there's only 6 of us here. There's a situation where it's 3-3. Like, do we want to bring a 7th person? Who's our 7th taster if we're split after 6?
We will figure that out as we go.
I like to get it.
This is the nightmare scenario that we discussed a week ago. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, Chris. There really is no plan B if there's a tie.
My dad threatened the will if I didn't vote for him, by the way.
I did nothing of the kind.
He does that a
although
lot,
I would have if
doesn't
I
he?
thought of it.
He does that a lot, doesn't he? Doesn't he threaten you
does.
with who are you going to give the inheritance to if not to Chris?
Charity?
Is she an exotic dancer?
Puka Nacua. His quarterback is not named Tua.
All right, should I head up?
Yes, get out of here.
Turking it.
Chris Cote said his father looks cool today, which
The hat.
I've never heard anyone say of Greg Cote before.
You know what? It could be the Team Valor Calmly racehorse hat I'm wearing, which is by Steve Arduini and Lou from Cincinnati. So thank you, two, for sending me this hat. It's
Okay,
a-
thank
You
you.
are gross.
Thank you for the acceptance speech
Awesome.
on your hat.
Puka Nacua. His quarterback is not named Tua.
So good.
It is because it's so bad. Like it is. It's our wheelhouse.
Can't
right
believe
there.
no one's thought of that.
Our wheelhouse is how do we
Gave a
occupy-
16-week heads up on this, and I was so worried over the 16 weeks that someone would come up with this idea. But no, lucky for us.
Puka Nacua. His quarterback is not named Tua.
Lucy made Chris Cote laugh out loud before we started the show. She walked in, and by way of greeting, she told all of us, "You're never going to guess who's in line to be the offensive coordinator at Iowa."
I believe that everything in my life has led me to this moment. Going to the University of Iowa, now moving to Miami, and the front runner to be the Iowa OC is Joe Philbin.
That's just good comedy. You're screwing with me. I don't believe that.
He looks like Iowa.
Oh, my God. I'm picturing now this audition room. I know it's a head coaching job or offensive coordinator, but I'm picturing like an LA-style movie audition room, and it's just the saddest, most boring offensive minds in football.
Just waiting outside of the room to meet Kirk Ferentz,
Yes.
like to talk to him.
And Joe's just like, okay, I guess it's my turn.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you. You made him more Southern country than I
John
imagine.
Skipper a little in there.
A little ranch hand.
He's got some of that in him, though.
That-
Old-timey Northeastern,
That-
like Plymouth Rock.
Well, this is what I think of. When I think of Joe Philbin, I think of when he was the offensive coordinator of the Packers. Easier to do when Aaron Rodgers is in his prime as the MVP. And I think of Joe Philbin showing up and the team making fun of him because he showed up on it must have been Thanksgiving, showed up, not Halloween, dressed as a pilgrim and killed the part because he looks like that.
It was a motivational tactic to inspire his team to victory over the Lions at the time. I assume they won.
If you're doing that, you have to wear a giant belt buckle, correct? Like
Yeah,
he
on
wo-
the hat and the shoes.
He looked a bit leprechaun-y, as I recall, but also tall enough to pass for a pilgrim.
Yeah, like Nosferatu.
The Iowa offensive coordinator job has to be a good job, correct? Because you cannot do worse than has been done.
I think it's a great job because Iowa fans, I think they're with me on this one. I don't really want a great offensive coordinator. I'm fine with just an okay one at this point because okay is that's good enough. I'll take it. We're not getting Lincoln Riley. I just want 27 points a game.
Well, you're in luck because Joe Philbin is okay.
What kind of questions do you think Ferentz is asking? All right.
Well, you're going in there and you're trying to impress a guy who doesn't want to get first downs,
It's
right?
3rd and 4 at your own 30.
Well, what's your offensive philosophy? 3 yards at a time.
Run the ball. You're hired.
4th and inches.
Who's my punter?
What do you think about punting on 3rd down?
Billy, how do you feel right now about both your F1 outfit? That helmet was too heavy and tight for me. I was supposed to do that one, and I had to trade it out because the helmet doesn't fit, and I could not do a show where I wouldn't be able to hear you guys with a helmet that cannot fit. How are you feeling both about that and our Turk off right now?
I feel terrible about this decision, but, as someone who rules with an iron fist, I saw a punishment not being completed, so I took it upon myself to do it today. The helmet is very tight.
It looks like your head's about to explode.
It's horrible. I can't breathe very well. Had I known this, I probably would have worn contact lenses instead of glasses. I can't hear anything. My nose is stuffed, so I can't breathe through my nose. And also, as I told you guys last week, the universe was out to get me, and I haven't made amends yet, so my neck is still not in a good situation, and I didn't think about the weight of the helmet and my neck. So it's a bit of a struggle right now, but you know what? It's December. And punishments have to be paid off, so I'll do them if I have to.
Have you thought about going visor down?
No, I actually can't breathe with the visor down. I did try that, and I couldn't breathe, and I thought, we're going to die in a fire anyways. Let me not be a corpse when the fire
So you'll put it down
engulfs
right
us.
as the fire starts, just as this is how I want to go.
No, and also this protects me from absolutely no fire. I will be burned alive in this suit. It's just plastic. It will melt onto my face and probably make my body unrecognizable.
Maybe he should be the reporter out there with my dad.
Yeah, you should be the fire marshal.
Who approved? Who approved cooking deep frying a turkey in an enclosed garage?
Enclosed is debatable.
It's not debatable.
Puka Nacua. His quarterback is not named Tua.
To my knowledge, this is a smoke-free building, which Stugotz breaks every single break.
Stugotz.
Again, an enclosed parking garage.
Still standing.
He's
Debatable.
smoking.
Yeah.
But this is supposed to be a smoke-free building, but we're going to deep fry a turkey in a garage filled with cars?
You sound sinusy because it's squeezing your face.
I feel sinusy.
The helmet is squeezing your face, and it's altering the way your voice sounds. Also, the acoustics from inside the helmet are making it known to the audio-only audience that you are clearly, that is the visor going
Now
down.
the visor's down and the helmet is inside. Does this sound better or worse?
It's worse. Yes,
Yeah.
It's
Worse, but better.
Well, here's my fear also is that the earpiece situation I have set up hurts. So I want to take off this helmet in the breaks, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get it back on successfully.
It is very tight, and I simply couldn't do that because my face and my head are too big for that helmet. And so thank you for ruling with an iron fist, and thank you for your contributions to trying to make this show better. I am also afraid that this Turk-off isn't going to go the way that it was planned. Do you think we're going to have a payoff when? At the end of the hour? At the end of the show?
I don't think Roy's turkey is going to be done until 6 p.m.
Well, he started it around 7.
Right.
And I think it takes 3 hours. So we're looking at a 11 a.m. done time for Roy, and my dad's going to drop his about an hour after that. His will be ready.
Right.
Would you guys be kind enough to really, I'd like as a group here to have sort of a team meeting. Can you explain to me how in Roy's head somewhere a week is not a long enough time on notice for him to be able to go get from a butcher a turkey?
I mean, he's a busy guy. He has kids. He's got a family. He's got the hockey show.
Sometimes.
Puka Nacua. His quarterback is not named Tua.
I'd like to talk for a moment about what Van Ginkel did on Sunday, getting his nose broken in the first quarter and just playing the remainder of the game. I know we get used to In that sport, Stugotz, I'm sure by this time you're used to gnarled fingers of former football players because they get their fingers caught between helmets. That has to be a thing that happens fairly often, and it seems like that would be pretty awful. Like you hear all the time in huddles, guys just help teammates popping their fingers back in.
It makes me go, oh.
Yeah, it's a normal it's a normal thing in that sport you do not leave the field and stay out because your bone or your finger is in the wrong direction, dislocated. But I'm just asking all of you the practical effects of, as Billy tries to do the show with a helmet on that is too tight, what do you imagine playing an NFL football game is like if you break your nose in the first quarter?
I can't imagine what it's like if you didn't break your nose. I mean,
It's an excellent point by you.
You have to just breathe out of your mouth the whole game now?
That's usually how it goes. Yeah. I mean, J.J. Watt played with a broken nose for 3 straight seasons at a Hall of Fame level. So Ben Ginkel's got some work to do.
Everyone here would take the show off if they broke their nose.
I think you're selling us short.
Grid of death punishment, break a nose, finish the show?
I don't want to compare myself to a football player, but right now I'm doing my job with a helmet on and a stuffed nose, so I feel like it's fairly comparable.
He's just one step away from Ben Ginkel.
Was your nose stuffed before you put on the helmet, or is it squeezing your face so that it stuffs your nose? Did you have some sinus issues walking in this morning, or are those all caused by the helmet?
So I wake up every morning with a stuffy nose, and I have a technique that I use that's kind of gross, and I'm also working on, I think, a proprietary fix to this solution.
Blowing your nose?
No, it's better than blowing your nose. But it's kind of gross, so if this is a judgment-free zone, I'd like to share with you guys.
I'd like to get to it, but before we get to it, I just want to tell you guys, I don't know if this is the same thing. I remember where I was. Freddie Gonzalez was the third base coach for the Erie Sailors. The first time I ever saw anyone blow their nose without a napkin by just putting a finger on a single nostril and blowing snot out of one side.
snot rocket.
Yeah, it's the first time I had ever seen that.
Love doing that.
I was just a young man, and I learned about life and discovery and wonder in Erie, Pennsylvania, in the third base box.
From Freddie Gonzalez?
From Freddie Gonzalez. Before he was the illustrious Freddie Gonzalez, he taught me what the snot rocket was.
You either have that in you or you don't, because you don't want to be the guy. It's like, oh, someone did that. That looks cool, and then you try it, and then you end up with it all over your face.
There are places though where it's appropriate.
Golf course,
a golf course, a baseball diamond. It's fine. No one looks at you, weird. You can do it there.
Shower.
You do it on the sidewalk.
Oh,
That's
the
a
shower.
different thing. Shower, definitely.
When you're sick and you have a cold and you're in the shower, it is just, I am clearing out right now.
Lucy, how do you feel in general about the snot rocket?
I love being a girl and not thinking about these things. And then when you guys talk about them, I'm kind of squeamish. I don't like any sort of, like, when you talked about broken nose, got a little lightheaded. I don't like any of it. So, bleh.
The girls don't have boogers?
No. We don't.
Billy?
Well, so do you want to know how I clear out my nose? And again, judgment-free zone, even though Lucy is very clearly judging all of us at this moment.
Always am.
All right, so I get some toilet paper, some TP, right? Yeah. And I thought about this because of a Q-tip in your ear. So I'll get some toilet paper. I'll kind of make it into like a little column, and then I kind of push it in and I spin it around, give it like 2 or 3 quick spins, like you used to do like at the COVID testing around your nose, and it grabs everything. Really? And you take it out, then you can rip off the tip of it, throw it in the toilet or whatever. Then you do another one of those with the bottom half of it, spin it around the other side. Oh, clearest you'll ever breathe.
I think that's less gross than the snot rocket, isn't it? The snot rocket is pretty disgusting. I remember being taken aback. You understand? I don't know if you know, Stugotz, the first time you saw it, but to arrive at Freddie Gonzalez and Discovery.
I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay, and to see just a stream of snot come out of a man that
jarring,
casually, like with some real expertise. I mean, he did it. He did it with
It's part of everyday life for Freddie.
Yeah, it was with a flourish.
If you're watching on Max or YouTube,
this is horrific.
You can see just how troubling this setup is.
We should not be doing this part live.
No, that propane tank. No, that scares me. Everything that this is not responsible.
It's next to something that's fenced in.
Yeah,
like
a larger propane tank.
At least he has his apron on.
I'm trying to think of something more horrifying that I could put dangerously next to Greg Cote than a can that says gas.
There's also live wires right behind him encased in like mesh. None of this is safe.
Greg Cote, are you ready? Are you ready up there? Can you hear us? Is he in position right
I can
now?
hear you.
Tell us. Set
Hello,
up
I
the
can hear you.
scene. Set up the scene.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we've had a calamity here. I told you.
This is the new and unimproved LeBatardShow with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
I got to be honest, this feels terrifying to me. I don't like seeing that kind of flame near your father and a tank that reads gas on it. Like
Oil on the other
this
side.
does not, none of this seems, this does not seem good.
We sent Billy up there to check it.
He'll take care of it. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Expert.
No, this is not good. It doesn't seem clean. None of this.
Oh, is that going on the floor?
Hold on.
Oh, my God.
Guys, it's going to be cleaned by the cooking process.
Okay.
Chris, how do you feel about your father here? You're laughing, but you're also scared.
It's just honestly a little terrifying. I am confident because he's done this so many times, but usually he has a kitchen.
But is the tank usually this
We're
close
just
by?
looking at his ass.
Right. I got to tell you, he's carrying himself like an expert.
He is.
I haven't
Right now
seen him
he's
this confident
seasoning.
in a
He's
long
dusting
time. Yeah,
season right
He knows
now.
what he's doing. I mean, have faith.
This is live. This can go wrong. You guys are in agreement with me that the propane tank, Lucy, you're the responsible one here. Does it not seem like it's too close to the oil, to the
He's
fire?
lifting it. Oh my God, this could
dear
be bad.
God.
Right here.
Dear God.
Oh, okay, we made it.
Done it
Oh, and
1,000
he's sliding it
times.
now.
No.
Okay, I think we're good.
No mitts, just foil on his hands.
Are we sure? Wait, we should talk to him for this part. He's about to drop
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Can we?
Hold on, Dad. Greg,
hold on.
pause.
Hold on, Greg.
Oh, he's taking his shoes
Yes,
off.
he's got to take his shoes
Can we
off.
mic him? Can we mic him?
Mike, Greg, Cody, can you hear us?
He's
There we go.
on the 11th floor of the garage. There are some remnants, some oil remnants. Same sort of thing you would see in a home where someone was cooking crack in foil. Greg Cote, can you hear us? And do you have a microphone? Can you talk to us at the same time? Yes. There
John,
is
good
John
job,
Reed,
John.
always professional. Thank you, John Reed.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Greg, go ahead and give
I
us
am
the.
prepared. The bird is ready.
Give us the
I am
play-by-play.
prepared for the
Go
ceremonial
ahead.
dropping of the bird.
Now, Dad, first let me just make sure you said before this that the oil was too hot when you left it there by itself. Are you sure the oil is not too hot now? Because that could be a problem. His headphones are off.
Okay, somebody help him. Billy, get in
He's
there.
frying a turkey.
Billy, get in there and help him, please, because
Billy's look like an F1
competence is not a strength under the best of circumstances with Cody. Billy, why don't you give us the play-by-play and perhaps interview him as he drops the turkey into the fryer and starts to compete with, of course, his headset doesn't work.
The headphones are breaking.
Yes.
Yeah, we know.
Yes.
Okay, everything's all right. Can I drop the bird?
The oil's not too hot, correct?
We hope not.
All right.
We hope not.
The oil look. I don't want to be this
Yeah.
close. Hold on.
Billy, get away.
You have a helmet on, Billy. I mean,
He also, I didn't tell you this, but it's on a tiny ledge. This turkey.
Ooh, you can hear it.
oh, yes.
Yes, put the microphone close.
What a
to them.
great sound.
Nice and slow, Greg.
Ooh.
Can't believe Billy's this close to this. That's the biggest upset here.
That cazuela looks like it's lived.
Sound.
That
So gross.
I
That
think we're
cazuela
good.
has lived. That has cooked some things. There have been a lot of deaths inside of that.
Okay, we don't want the oil to go up much higher. I think we're going to be fine.
All right.
The bird has dropped. Okay, we're getting a little residual splash, which is okay,
Is that okay?
but we're good. We're fine.
How
Yeah.
long will that stay in there, Greg?
We're starting the clock right now. It's going to take in the neighborhood of 35 minutes.
Okay, you sound winded.
35 minutes.
It went
give or
in at
take.
9:32.
Setting a give or take timer on his phone right now.
It's a fairly exact science, so we're going to set it.
If it's give or take, it's not exact.
We're going to set it at 30, and then I'm going to look at it. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
This, Dan, to paint a picture, is styrofoam. It's foam here that's very flammable right next to this bird.
Yeah, we don't worry about that.
Okay, thank you for all of your hard work.
He does sound winded. I mean,
Yes, was that from bending over, Greg? Is
just movements.
Do you sound winded simply from bending over? Yes or no?
I have ruined a pair of Meadowlark earphones.
Yeah, he broke headphones. Did you see the ledge that it's on for some
Yeah.
reason?
We're on a ledge right now.
All right, good work. Excellent broadcasting
Jason.
at the end. Way to
Didn't
Peter.
answer your question.
Way to Peter out. Didn't answer my.
5-inch curb. What did you ask? I'm sorry.
Never mind. It's not important.
Puka Nacua. His quarterback is not named Tua.
Pablo Torre is there, but I'm not ready to go to Pablo Torre yet, so he's going to have to.
I ruined the earphone.
I'm not ready to be gone to yet.
Let's wait for a second before we get to Pablo
He's riveted.
Torre. I want to read to you guys this report from Wesley Steinberg, who is a Giants insider who seems credible because his avatar is a picture of Bill Parcells.
That's it.
I'm gonna let you do this.
You think I'm being fooled by the internet?
Well, the previous report on Wesley Steinberg's timeline is that Sean McDermott was arrested at the team facility for his comments on 9/11. So seems credible enough. It's got a blue check. Run with it.
This is one of the problems I have with some of the Devito information is that some of it seems like it is real and some of it seems like it is fake. So this is not from Wesley Steinberg, what I am telling you now, which is that Devito's agent is in a feud with a New Jersey pizzeria place because evidently at the last minute they doubled the appearance fee of Tommy DeVito, the Giants quarterback.
Yeah, so? I mean, Tommy DeVito has become a major star, and so this guy wants to cash in while he can, and so he doubled the fee. Big deal. I guarantee you, doubling the fee, they're also doubling the amount of people that are coming out to see Tommy DeVito at said pizza parlor.
When did they agree to that fee, though? You can't just go back on. If it was set months ago, I mean, that's just sorry, Tommy.
But Stugotz is okay with lying and just filing it under business.
We don't know all the details. We have no idea.
You're siding with a doubling of the fee when what the detail we do know is that the pizzeria feels ripped off by it. There is beef there's pepperoni between these two sides. There's a problem between the two sides.
I'm siding with strike while the iron's hot. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm siding with because Tommy DeVito, this may be the best opportunity he has to cash in on his celebrity right now because it could go away at any moment. So his agent is doing what an agent does.
So what's that fake story you wanted to read?
And this is why it sounds believable when I'm when I'm jumping from one to the other, that he recently told the team's social media manager to quit it with all the Italian. I just want to play football before storming out of a room. It doesn't seem crazy. I don't know whether it's true or not.
It's believable. I got sent that in a group chat, and I'm like, wow, we could use this for the show. Let me see if this person's real. Blue check. Okay, good start. Nowhere in the bio does it say parody account because allegedly that's how we were supposed to distinguish fake accounts. And then I did the last check, which is let's just see how full this account is usually. And the couple first tweets that I saw seemed reputable. And then Sean McDermott was arrested at the team facility like 3 tweets down. So this is the future that we feared when the blue check policy changed.
It is here. That future is here now. And since we are on Max, obviously this is just a silly sports thing that doesn't matter. But John Oliver, Stugotz, who I believe, and I know a lot of people think that he's too woke because of where we've divided, but I don't think that John Oliver has moved politically in his 15 years on camera. He's always been about the same things, and most of what it is that he says or does on Sundays is enriched by facts, like just clear and obvious facts. Like he may be presenting them in a way that obviously leans a certain way, but what he's giving you again and again is fact-based. It's indisputable. He's got a team of 20 writers who work all week to produce a half-hour show, and they need weeks off because of how strenuous those weeks are to get someone in front of a camera to talk for 30 minutes straight and do that correctly, factually, with the subject matter they're covering. And he spent the 30 minutes taking out Elon Musk. And not surprisingly, Elon Musk's response to that was John Oliver was funny many years ago before he went full woke and is now humorless. Woke is interesting as a word because it's gone from something that was used by black people, stay woke, stay alert to racism, and it's been co-opted to dismiss funny people. Elon Musk is many things. Funny is not one of them. He's simply not funny. I don't trust him to discern who else is funny. It's not something that's in his repertoire.
I've tried to follow some definitions because people have been asked several times to define woke, and they just go woke mind virus. But pretty much the description of woke just means progressive. And I think that oftentimes people give credence to dismissing someone as woke by just regurgitating that word. It's progressive. It doesn't have a negative connotation. Neither does woke, by the way, but it's totally been co-opted. The way that fake news was co-opted by Trump earlier.
I love that show. I love Last Week Tonight. I like watching Bill Maher's show as well. To me, it's just an easy download that's digestible on things going on in the world that can mix comedy and difficult subject matter that doesn't seem very funny. But what Musk is doing with what is now X, and he's getting mad that he has not been able to get people to stop calling it Twitter because everyone is still referring to it as Twitter. The idea that Elon Musk, Stugotz, who seems like an overgrown high schooler, trying like Zuckerberg, all of them trying to be popular because they weren't at one time, and now trying to purchase that popularity. Him being taken down for 30 minutes, fact-based, on Elon Musk, John Oliver taking him down, I would encourage everybody to watch what is there. I know Elon Musk now, a podcast about him and his history is top 5 in the United States, just covering who it is Elon Musk is, because he's got an extraordinary amount of power and people don't totally know what he wishes to do with it.
So I've been calling Musk a phony and a fraud for years now on the show, but you're saying, and I did it without any facts behind me, I just threw it out there and we had some fun with it. You're saying that John Oliver has facts to back it up. Huh?
On everything.
What a powerful feeling that must be.
Yes, to have a team of writers putting together the facts for you so that you can be properly informed and nothing that you say is assailable. All of it is vetted and lawyered so that you also cannot get sued. Yes, that would be wonderful if I could work with people like that. Instead, it's you and Cody on Tuesdays near a propane tank with a lot of flames.
But I was right about Musk. I mean,
you were there before. You didn't need any facts. Can Greg Cote still hear me with his broken headphones? Is he still out there? Let's go to Greg Cote. Cote, your opinions on how it's going?
I want to hear him in his natural element.
Yes. Greg Cote, yes. How is it going up there? Give us an update, sir.
Our oil has come back.
This is the new
down.
and unimproved Dan LeBatard show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
I have to admit it. I am sad to admit it. But when I just saw the fried turkey emerge from its broiler, it looked really good.
Delightful.
It looked the correct color of brown. Greg Cote might be victorious here. Look at him, how happy he is in the parking garage, working hard near the flames. He is stirring the oil.
We haven't checked in much with Roy. I mean,
yeah, Roy, we'll check in with him in a week, see if he's finished and if he's had enough time. You know, he's taking his time. But before we do any of that, Pablo Torre joins us from New York, and I want to get his expert opinion here on some sound produced by Eric Adams, the mayor of New York. He seems a little bit loopy. He says a lot of funny things that are unintentionally funny, and here he is being asked a question about describing New York in one word.
Mr. Mayor, we've come to the end of what was a very eventful 2023, right? So when you look at the totality of the year, if you had to describe it, and it's tough to do, in one word, what would that word be, and tell me why?
New York. This is a place where every day you wake up, you could experience everything from a plane crashing into our trade center to a person who's celebrating a new business that's open. This is a very, very complicated city, and that's why it's the greatest city on the globe.
An amazingly terrible answer.
You do wake up. I mean,
some of us do, yes. And
he was asked for one word, just for the record there, and he started with New York. and then proceeded to say about 35 more words.
Well, I didn't think it could get any worse
Most
after
of
he was
which.
asked for a word, gave two, and then the first thing he says, you can wake up any morning. And this is one of the things that makes the city incredible. 9/11's happened.
Yep. I'm in this place, Dan, where I have to check how funny I find all of these politicians. Because I know there is this larger argument that I should not find Eric Adams hilarious because he does real things that affect real people with real policies. And yet I just laugh at that. I think to myself, this is part of, in a weird way, Eric Adams' real answer is New York's a great city because New York has mayors like me, a total maniac, who you New Yorkers somehow tolerate and find a way to laugh at, despite the fact that I materially make your life worse.
Is he popular? How is he viewed in the city?
No, I wouldn't say he's popular. I would say I like that I'm now local. I'm like a man on the street now. Eric Adams, he's got problems, but he makes me feel safer. I think that's what people in New York would say. Like, he's a cop. He's there to increase security. He seems to do that. But in reality, all of that seems to be smoke and mirrors. And he's an insane person. He's an insane person who is trailed by a series of insane lies that are George Santosian in a way. He claimed to live in New York, but really was living in New Jersey. He brought like the local news to a weird tour of his home, which clearly was like set up for like a sad TV shoot. He claims to be a vegan or a vegetarian, but clearly eats meat. He's at nightclubs all the time at like 2:30 a.m. And when he's asked about it, he's like, the city needs to see their mayor. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good answer. I mean, insofar as you can have an answer for why you're totally irresponsible. And then there's like those serious stuff that he messes up routinely. So no, not popular, but definitely an insane person.
I keep saying some form of we get the leadership that we deserve. Can you explain to me what it is that you want from leadership? Because at bare minimum, I want the people who are leading us with maximum power to be smarter than I am or smarter than the average person.
Yeah, the real trick of who I want to be a political leader right now is that I want someone who is not deeply thirsty to be a political leader right now. Like the guy that I want to be president of the United States, Dan, which will be no surprise to anybody who I think has heard me talk about him, is Domonique Foxworth. I want Domonique Foxworth to be president or at least senator because he doesn't want to do it. He's overqualified. He actually has principles, and he's concerned about whether this is even a thing that he would enjoy. And those are the qualities I want for the guy who is supposed to, take the lives of millions into his hands.
So no wild political ambition. You distrust anyone in this climate who has wild political ambition.
It's the catch-22, right? I literally, again, as I belabor this point, I went to college with Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe I broke the news while filling in for you on your show, some of the things that he would do. And that is the person who, in all of his attention seeking and all of his hunger and thirst to just be that guy, that's the opposite of what I want to select for. And right now in politics, you're seeing the melding of the fragmented media economy with the political system, and you're seeing people who are really good at gaming traffic get traction as a politician. And I want the person who is hesitant to be in public at this point, to want to be a politician, which is why it's incumbent upon people that I know, my friends, for me to bully them into, hey, can you save the republic maybe? Can you do a miserable job that actually should feel miserable if you have principles, because it's hard and it should be unglamorous and it does involve real consequences for people. Or you could do this. And
Pablo Torre Finds Out was voted by the Big Lead the best sports podcast that there is, but God Bless Football and Nothing Personal.
Yeah.
Billy, what do you want to tell people about how they are coming to rival Pablo Torre Finds Out, because he was not nominated as opposed to Nothing Personal and God Bless Football for what?
Well, I don't think that we're rivaling Pablo Torre.
We're not competing.
Thank you.
Yes, we're not figuring anything out.
We've won twice already. Pablo's won once, so Pablo's trying to catch up to us. We were nominated for a third time for Sports Podcast Awards for Best American Football Podcast. And David Sampson's Nothing Personal with David Sampson was nominated for Best Baseball Podcast and Best Sports Business Podcast. So this is a fan voting thing. So you can go and you can vote, and then, maybe a couple more trophies, and then Maybe there'll be a newsletter about us one day within the company, but probably not.
Where can they vote?
Just a mention.
Where's the voting?
I'll put out a link because it's a Sports Podcast Awards. You can Google that, but we'll put out a link and you can go vote.
Was I not nominated for that?
No, you weren't.
Is that what I'm learning now?
No.
For the
This
first
is
time?
fan vote. Like, we don't care about what the experts. I don't care what they have to say about my podcast or Billy's podcast. I care about what the fans have to say.
You actually have to submit the podcast, and then it goes through to the fan voting phase. So like, there's a selection process. These are the awards that got through to the fans to decide the winner.
Can I award Greg Cote the award for a person who looks most like a Grand Theft Auto 6 NPC that I've ever seen?
He does.
Like, I don't know, Dan, if you've done a good enough job explaining for the listeners what he looks like, because beyond the barefootedness, beyond the fact he has this giant apron and a t-shirt and this, like, he's literally in an abandoned garage. But the thing I am focused on the most is his hat. Like, what's the deal with that? Greg just showed up with
Team
the hat
Valor, Cincinnati Lou. He gave an acceptance speech before on the hat. I didn't.
He said it's his cooking hat.
I didn't.
That's what it is.
No, it's Team Valor is Comley, like his horse. That's their team.
Yeah, but he said he likes to wear it when he cooks, when he fries a bird. That's what he told me.
And Christopher said that he looks cool. His father looks cool for the first time. But Pablo, you are right. He looks like a cliched sort of stereotypical street merchant in a video game who you just drive by as an extra who's standing outside of a delicatessen looking to commit a crime.
Yes, he's yelling things indecipherably and like removing the turkey from the brine, and it looks actually shockingly good, to your point. I agree.
When going up there to cover this, I saw that this floor is under construction, so it looks like he snuck into this floor and should not even be there. Like, there shouldn't be humans on this floor doing this.
He looks like a Morlock, like a mole person.
He also has the quality and skin color of someone who's embalmed.
Can we show his feet? It's the feet that really make it.
All right, let's go down, please. And he still barefooted? Foot. Let's, John Reed, if you can make yourself useful there. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
I've touched those feet.
We encourage you, youtube.com/@LeBatardShow.
Yeah!
Is where it is that you find
He
our
got it!
YouTube offerings. Pablo Torre Finds Out it's gotten very popular as a podcast. The quality is very good. Before we get to what it is you're doing on the next Pablo Torre Finds Out, what commentary do you have on what we were discussing about John Oliver and Elon Musk?
Oh, yeah. It's that anybody who says the word woke unironically and has since like maybe 2020 is scamming you on the internet. Like, nobody who intends the word sincerely is saying it anymore because it's been co-opted in a way that lots of terms, by the way. Like, I think there are lots of terms that have been co-opted so successfully by the other side of things in bad faith ways that we should just stop using them. Like, white privilege to me is like once a descriptive term that was useful, no longer, because it's just a conversation ender, because it connotes all of these things that people have campaigned on against. And so woke is that way. And the thing about John Oliver and Elon is that what makes me laugh the most is that what is most cutting, I think, to like the Elon simps is that John Oliver is just like, this guy isn't cool. The way that he described him in that piece was he looked like a more unfuckable version of Billy Zane's character in Titanic, which I think we can all appreciate.
I have a child.
Cody. What's on Pablo Torre Finds Out? Look, you mailed that one in, Chris. Like, that's one of it's one of your signature phrases.
Because there was an F word said, and Billy tapped me, and I thought Billy was tapping me to do Billy Zane, but he was like, F word. And then so right before I said, I have a child, I like looked over, I was like, F word, but Dan wants me to talk right now, so I have to do, I have a child. Is that better?
Barely.
The joke might have been that Billy Zane in this version did not have a child because of his unbleepable aspect. But I digress.
I don't have a child.
We have less than a minute left. Why should people find Pablo Torre Finds Out?
Yeah, so today we have a sit-down interview with a guy that I've been obsessed with for a very long time, a guy whose name may ring a bell in your brain, and that guy is Smush Parker. And I've been thinking about Smush Parker because last Friday, there was this report that Shohei Ohtani was convinced to join the Dodgers because he got this posthumous message from the late, great Kobe Bryant. And it moved him, and it was the thing that closed the deal. And it's this mythology, I realized, about Kobe still, even more so now, in death than ever. And Smush Parker happens to be the one brave voice in NBA history, really, to have shared a backcourt with Kobe Bryant and said, quote, "It was overrated." And Kobe Bryant has basically made fun of Smush Parker. He had been making fun of him for years, called him the worst, basically did to Smush Parker what his name suggests. He got smushed. And so Smush Parker now, beyond having a whole life that I find fascinating, is doing something crazy in his last act. He is trying to become the 4th NBA player ever in retirement to become an NBA referee. And so he is a guy who contains multitudes. He comes clean on all of the stuff about Kobe and beyond. He was at the Malice at the Palace. He was bringing up the ball at Auburn Hills when that was happening. He's like this Forrest Gump character, but he says things with a truth-telling aspect that you just don't hear elsewhere because he is like from the underclass. He is, metaphorically speaking, the guy next to Greg Cote under the bridge in the annals of NBA history. And he says things that the people above never want to hear, and he actually says them. So please listen.
Kobe treated Smush very poorly. Thank you, Pablo. We will talk to you soon. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Stugotz, I am deeply, deeply uncomfortable right now. We've got the bare feet of Greg Cote around some wires, around some flames. I will tell you, Stugotz, and I think this is universal, a universal truth I'm about to express.
Okay.
That most of the men listening to this, Greg Cote included, always think they're younger than they actually are. Every single male listening to this does not think he is the age that he actually is. Greg Cote is one of the worst culprits when it comes to this stuff, so I'm afraid he's going to trip over a wire, break his hip, and then catch fire. Greg Cote, where are we in the proceedings? I'm getting a lot of tweets here saying among other things, why is he preparing turkey in what appears to be, well, for lack of a better word, a dungeon of some sort? And then Billy Gill, this is directed to you. Greg handled a raw turkey, touched the mic, and then handed it to you. Wash your hands or you will get salmonella.
I saw that. I Clorox wiped my phone and everything else, and I use a lot of hand sani. So hopefully I'm okay.
You can't get salmonella from a turkey, different species.
Greg Cote, put it on the poll. Can you get salmonella from a turkey at LeBatardShow? Greg Cote, update us on
from a salmon.
Update us on where it is that we are, sir. How close are you to done?
Talk, Dad.
Greg Cote.
Greg!
Please, Greg.
I'm here. You guys are going in and out. I'm having a lot of trouble hearing you.
All right, just give us an update and get back down here, please, and don't catch fire. Just tell us where we are, pull it out, and get back down here.
It's very close to being done.
Wow.
We expect to pull it out for real in about less than 5 minutes, possibly 3 minutes, and then we'll be resting it, cutting it, bringing it downstairs, the whole bit.
Okay, and
so you're going to cut it in the garage?
No, we're going to cut it in the kitchen.
Okay.
Good.
In the eating area.
Good choice.
How are you feeling about how it looks? It looks crispy and it looks wonderful. How are you?
I feel great. It looks wonderful, honestly. If it tastes as good as it looks, I'll be a happy man. It looks great. We had a little bit of a calamity with the oil. We've been working extra hard to keep it in the green zone where it should be. At about 340 to 350.
Alarm's going off. Time to take it out.
Right.
I'm real happy.
I'll tell you this, Dan.
It's
not something to balance the phone
From my time up there with Greg off mic, he kept saying that it was trending a little high, the oil. So does Greg think that that's going to impact the bird at all? He can't hear.
No, he's doing a famous test where you see how if the wing is going to easily break off, you know it's done.
Yeah, the turkey tells me when it's done. You want the legs, you want the two legs to have a visual indication of breaking away from the body on their own. And I may be a minute or two away from that.
Wow.
All right, it's very close to being done.
This guy is an expert. The turkey talks to him.
Yes, yes. We will wait for this payoff. We will linger around the dungeon. Billy, are there any more details from being up there that you can give us? It seemed a little Spartan up there and dungeoning.
It appears to be an active construction site, so if there's, some dust particles or whatever on the turkey that you get, don't be surprised because there's active construction going on right around the corner from where Greg is at the moment. He also looks like someone who has just kind of taken over that floor and maybe spends extra time there.
We will check in with Roy here shortly to find out
Hit the snooze button.
where he is. Greg, that is not a flat surface that you have placed your phone on. That seems
It's all he's got,
it's
Dan.
not a great place to put your phone. Can you give us, Greg, you'll cut in while I'm talking here and give us our payoff whenever it is that we're going to get our payoff, Greg? Yes, please.
Yeah, we're about 2 minutes from lifting.
Okay.
All right.
We have liftoff in 2 minutes.
All right. In the meantime,
Exciting.
Stugotz did his waddle swagger today and told everyone who would listen 6-1 in bowl games. I'm 6-1 against the spread in bowl games. Had no business winning that Western Kentucky bet he made yesterday.
But I won it.
He was down, I think, 35-7 or 28-7.
Right.
And he did win it. Now give us all of the information that went into that bet that you have on Western Kentucky.
Well, the Hilltoppers, Dan, they don't get off to quick starts. They usually finish strong, and that's why I was banking on them to fall down 35-7 and come back late in the second half and, bring it home in overtime. That's what the Hilltoppers have been doing the entire year. They win close games, they win at the end, and they lead the nation in wins in overtime. How about that? And I got today, Dan. Oh, do I have a big one today. The Scooters Coffee Bowl. I believe it's Scooters. And I have the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Oh, plus 13.
I'm going to write that down.
You should have
seem to be
6-1.
Red
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
Dan, did you watch the Famous Toastery Bowl yesterday?
I did not. What I saw was I was laughing when Old Dominion went up 6-7. Old Dominion when they went up 28-7.
Oh yeah, the Tops had a tough start. They were turning it over at the beginning of that game. It was a very sloppy Top, but they did figure it out as the game went along. They brought in a true freshman quarterback, Cade Veldkamp.
Yep.
And as a Miami Hurricanes fan, I just go gaga over a 3-star quarterback, who was also a white guy. So I fell in love. They have a lot of talent over there. And there's two different approaches to the game, Dan. The Old Dominion coach said, hey, if you're entering the transfer portal, if you want to get out of here, you're not playing in this bowl game. Whereas Western Kentucky's head coach is, I don't care if you're leaving. You want to play in this bowl game? Put on some pads and let's get her done. And it was amazing to see Western Kentucky show so much resilience. And in the end of that game, I flipped over to ESPN Plus to watch a bunch of kids do snow angels on top of toast that was stale. They loved this. This really meant something to them, and it made me fall in love with bowl games all over again.
Amazing to you, but not amazing if you've been watching the Hilltoppers all season. I'm telling you, they get down big in the first half. They always come back. That was a quick hook for Turner Helton.
They don't always come back. They lost like 5 or 6
Well,
times.
5 times they didn't come back. You're right.
They also have an NFL receiver that came out to play
buddy.
3 plays on the drive and then decided, that's enough of that. I'm going to the NFL. I'll take my pads off here.
Anything else from the Toastery Bowl worth mentioning of any kind?
I'm getting word right now that, yes, the turkey is ready.
All right, let's go.
wow.
Let's go to breaking news. Let's do this. Let's get the payoff.
There you go. Touch the headphones right before you touch the
headphone.
turkey. Perfect.
Drop the hanger. You drop the hanger that is used to pull the turkey out. Yes, it's on the floor. Now he's bending over where the flames are.
The hanger does not touch anything. Don't worry about that.
Well, it touches the turkey.
We're about to have liftoff.
It's touching the turkey now.
Guys, lift off.
Why are you using the mitt on the microphone?
Your mitt is on the wrong hand, Greg.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
You'll
It's
find
exactly
out why.
where it should be, Dan.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that
I'm
bird.
draining right now.
Is anyone helping you?
Draining it.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful brown and orange
is.
hue. Incredible. A festive bird.
Where are you going to put it? Are you going to drop
Just gonna
it?
carry it?
Just put it on the floor.
Oh no! Okay,
He's got a pan.
Stugotz, you're surprised that we don't trust him? You're surprised?
No, but I'm telling you, when it comes to this, I've never seen him more confident, more organized. Like, he's a different person around a fried bird.
Look at how close his foot is to the fire. Like, he's not paying attention to all the things that need to be paid attention to.
Greg, how satisfied are we with this bird?
It looks great, Mike. If it tastes as good as it looks, I'll be a very happy guy. It looks terrific. I'm about to tent it with foil before I carry it downstairs.
Let it rest.
It's
the
got to,
propane off.
like any other meat, it's got to rest for about 15
His
minutes.
crotch
or
is
10
right over
minutes
the
before
propane
it's
I don't want to
cooked.
ignore what
Okay.
Billy said. Righty-tighty on the propane tank. Let's just go righty-tighty.
You are straddling the propane tank. Everything you're doing looks I thought those were flames climbing and not aluminum just being pulled out of the wrapper. All right, we will see that when it comes down, and we will check in with
leave
Roy.
the tank on.
Turn the tank off, Greg. Turn
He's
everything
got it,
off.
guys. He's
I'm
got
about
it.
to, Dan.
Yes, he's got it.
I'm about to. I can't do everything at once.
Yeah.
I'm doing the best I can.
The bird comes first.
I'm simply
This is a horrific.
trying to make sure he doesn't explode. That's
I
all I'm
understand.
trying to do.
Pleasure watching that old man Turk off.
Where's Roy?
We're gonna catch up with him. He's almost done turking off.
Yes, we will catch up with him in just a second. I just basically all I want to do is make sure that we get out of this situation with video
Alive?
of him alive. That
Look
is
at,
correct.
there's a lot of oil stains on that backsplash, which is also a concrete garage. A lot of oil.
Oh no!
no.
See, this is what I'm worried about. This
That's
is
why we
exactly
good.
what
He's
I'm
good.
worried
He
about.
got
That's
it.
why we
He
told him
got
to
it.
turn it off.
The apron only got a
fine.
little bit caught on the propane.
That's exactly what I'm scared of.
He's okay. He turned it off.
Man, he crushed this though.
Yeah.
This is great.
Well, we'll see.
I fully expect Roy's hotel room to be covered in flames, just fully engulfed.
Again, I'd simply like to revisit what I believe to be something that is outside the realm of my comprehension, which is Roy claiming with a straight face that he did not have time for the Turk off to get exactly the turkey that he wanted to be preparing so that he can make excuses on the front end of why he's going to lose this Turk off, because I believe he is going to lose. And he's going to blame it on a series of preparation techniques, all of which were under his complete control.
I mean, man, when it comes to birds, though, it is peak season. Could be a supply chain issue.
He didn't go to the butcher and said
Well, we found out yesterday.
that he only had a week when he had more than a week. I mean, he's claiming it's a week. It was more than a week ago that we started the planning for the Turk off. And Greg Cote, who never has a back in my day, is wildly unprepared for all things that we do professionally. Greg Cote just crushed it.
Yep.
Greg Cote's got no excuses. He did that expertly. He did not set fire
He had to bring
anything.
all his own.
He did not, we were afraid he was going to try and do it in this room, and we were afraid that would be something that would make all of us catch fire. And so he did it on the 11th floor under construction, and he succeeded, right? None of us doubt that will be a great tasting bird.
It was like Jalen Hurts traveling, not with the team. Like we can't all die. So if something bad's gonna happen, go away from us.
It's got to be televised upstairs. If we have the viral calamity of an old man catches fire, which was at risk there. In fact, it seemed more dangerous than the pepper. I don't know that we vetted.
stepping
I don't
over
know that we
wires.
vetted any of that
Just
properly.
giving him a microphone.
All of it.
Laying a phone on like a cylinder.
One of
There
my
were so many things that gave
The
me
mid-hand
anxiety
on the
with that
microphone.
shot, the bare feet, the phone,
the oven mitt on the mic.
on the penis-shaped pillar. It was just an obstacle course of triggers.
You do realize, right? Like if he had caught fire in a live calamity that
So
went
viral.
viral on the internet, all of us would have been in retrospect. Well, yeah, of course, of course, that's what happened when we tried
Just a
that.
week's notice.
I have in front of me the best-selling book done by Greg Cote and Ron Magill, The Pride of a Lion. You can get it now. Many of you have already pre-ordered it, but it is a legitimate bestseller in a number of different categories, thanks to our audience, which obviously supports Ron Magill, one of the more popular people we've ever had around here, and Greg Cote, also popular. Roy, less popular. Roy is in the kitchen now, and we didn't get the payoff of Roy pulling the turkey out of the oven. We spent a lot of money to have him up there with cameras and whatnot. And now he's in the eating area with Greg Cote. We got no dramatic payoff.
We also never saw him put in the turkey. We never saw him with a turkey at any point. The only turkey reference is he couldn't go to his butcher, and it's not his turkey. So we don't know that Roy actually cooked anything.
That's correct. Roy, terrible at television and not helpful in this regard at all. So far, failing the Turk off, is going to lose.
But gave us a turkey to Turk off with.
That's right.
And for that, we're grateful.
But that we haven't seen yet.
Right.
No, I guess there's an air of mystery around it now.
But you say he's going to lose. It all gets down to the taste. It doesn't matter what you do before. It matters how the turkey
so far,
tastes.
he's losing.
I half hope it's a ham.
no doubt.
I want it to be a ham.
We will see what Roy has produced in a moment. We've got Ron Magill here as well. Greg Cote, what are your thoughts, very quickly, before we go to Ron Magill, what are your thoughts on how poorly everything has happened here from a televised event standpoint with Roy Bellamy? You've really kicked his ass so far.
Well, we overcame the calamities to produce what I hope is a good bird to eat. So it's all good.
Have you
Thanks
seen
for
it?
nothing.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad I went to you. Okay, let's pull out of that and let's just do Ron Magill. I'm glad you guys were ready with the proper energy there to do a televised thing. Excellent work as always.
Dan,
Jesus
you mentioned the Pride of the Lion, and we have a giveaway for the Pride of a Lion beginning today, December 19th through next Tuesday, December 26th. When you purchase a copy of The Pride of a Lion on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com, leave your honest review of the book, and you'll automatically be entered for your shot to win a holiday gift basket from Mango Publishing. No gag reviews, I'm being told, just honest reviews only, and you must actually be able to verify your purchase. Winner will be notified next Wednesday.
Ron Magill, the last time I saw him, was genuinely despondent. I don't believe I've ever seen him quite so sad. Your Cesta Cyclones lost an ability to get $50,000 for your substantive endowment on Friday. Yeah, you were crushed. You were crushed, and you looked at, were you a misery to be driving home with your wife, lovely wife Rita, who had plenty to drink?
No. Yeah, she did have plenty of drinks. She was happy. Well, you were drinking too there, Dan. I saw you with a bottle of tequila.
That's right.
Anyway, the bottom line is the bottom line is it was just it was kind of $50,000 is a lot of money. What that could have done for conservation is incredible. At the end of the day, the guys played really hard. They're a great group of guys. I mean, Carballo, Manu, Bueno. These are great guys. They really took it to the end. They're in the finals. They made it to the Super Bowl. A lot of other teams can't say that. So I've got to be very proud of what they did getting to the point that they got into. But, at the end of the day, you got Udonis Haslem. You got all these guys that look like a bunch of Adonises out there. They won. They all ripped off their shirts like they're in freaking doing, whatever, that Magic Mike stuff. And,
Yeah, there was shirtlessness. Ray Lewis and Udonis Haslem were celebrating their victory, and I was proud. For years, we've been trying to keep High Ally alive. We did it at Dania. There's only this is the only place where they're still playing High Ally in the United States, and that crowd was big and energetic. That was not a small crowd.
No, it was packed, standing room only. It was packed, people screaming, people getting very happy. I mean, when you have UD take off his shirt and slide on the champagne along the highlight court like he's, doing a dance, I mean, I guess it's a big thing.
Ron, I want to bring in Lucy here to tell you what it is that she did with a dog this weekend. It was very kind what she did. We made her feel bad about it. And there was a plot twist at the end when she returned the dog. So, Lucy, tell Ron what you did.
Ron, I need your support here because everyone has been very mean to me about me participating in the Paw Venture program with the Miami-Dade shelter. So on Friday, I took a dog out of the shelter for the day, and we went on walks, and we went to the park, and we just had a fun little day together. And then once the day was over, I went and turned her back to the shelter because I am not in a space where I can have a dog. For our YouTube audience, she is on the screen right now. Her name is Dolly. She was the best dog. And I really thought that I was doing a bad thing because of how mean everyone here was to me. So when I was dropping her off, I started crying because I felt so bad. But then when we got back to the shelter, she ran away from me and wanted nothing to do with me. So can you please tell me that I didn't do anything wrong?
You didn't do anything wrong. You did everything right. You fostered that dog. You gave that dog an afternoon of happiness away from the shelter. I mean, at the end, she was happy to go back. Dogs are very social animals. So all the other dogs in the social group there, she's back with her family, so to speak. But that afternoon off was, it was like a snow day, so to speak, where you're away from school, you're having fun, you gave her a lot of love, you did the right thing. You should be very proud of yourself, and the rest of you guys should be ashamed of yourself for making her feel bad.
Thank you. You should all feel bad.
What is the most social of the animals, Ron?
Dogs are very social. I mean, dogs are incredibly social, more so than cats, of course. But, I mean, if you're thinking domestic-wise, you got to think dogs. I mean, wild-wise, you got to think of animals like meerkats, very, very social, very structured. The painted dogs, the wild dogs of Africa, very social. Lions, of course, the pride of a lion will tell you how social they are, how family bonded they can be. So there's a lot of social animals. Birds can be very social depending on what species they are. social animals are not uncommon.
Ron, when you rent a dog, though, aren't you providing that dog with false
You're not
hope?
renting a dog.
She
Why
rented
you
a
say it
dog
like
for a
that?
day. It's rent
She
a
didn't
dog.
rent a dog. She fostered a dog. There's a difference.
Okay, when you foster a dog for a day, are you not giving the dog false hope?
No, you're giving the dog a great time. You know, when you bring your family to Disney World for a day, are you giving them false hope that they're going to be at Disney World every day? No,
Well, I'm going to be with them later, though.
Right.
I'm going to be with them when we get home.
Right, I'm not dropping them off at the end of the day. I mean, there are days where I wish I could, but I'm not.
With their friends. It's like they went on a field trip. You know, when your kid goes on a field trip at school, do they expect to be the field trip? No, they come home back to their family of their kids, and that's what's happening. That dog got back, and that's why Lucy said it ran away, because it ran to see its friends. Oh, let me tell you about the great day I had with my foster parent, who was very nice and very thoughtful to do that for me, as opposed to you guys that were probably watching a football game and drinking.
Not as much as your wife, though.
I own a dog.
I would say of Stugotz, one of the things that I'm enjoying about this is he really does have the dog doing the process of how one fosters, which is, if this person takes me out for 6 hours, this is my forever friend, correct? Like you have the dog understanding how the fostering application process works, and then having hope, wait a minute, this is my big chance to have a different life, as opposed to I go back to the facility at 6 p.m. and that's when they give me the bits, the kibble and bits, which is the only reason the dog was running back in that way.
Totally fair.
It wasn't running in that way to be back with its friends. It was time to eat and be back where it is that it's normal, instead of with that weird lady who took me all over.
Weird
Why
lady.
you be like that? That's not right, Dan. That's not right. You should really be complimenting her. You should be elevating her on all your social media platforms about the heart that the people on the Dan LeBatard and Stugotz show have. That's what you should be doing.
I do want to get behind this, and I want to do more of it to help dogs in Miami. There are plenty of them that need the help, but I want to go first here to show you some photos of Steven Seagal.
They need help forever, not just for a day.
That's correct,
Right,
but
yeah.
a day is better than nothing, and Lucy gave the dog that. But I wanted to show you Steven Seagal in Dubai at a zoo, frolicking with a lot of animals, and he is wearing right there the outfit that I like to call my pandemic wear, where it's just you've gained a lot of weight and you're just putting some sort of bed sheet on you because it is comfortable. Ron, what do you make of these photos here of Steven Seagal playing tug of war with the animals, with a lion, and fooling around feeding a bottle to a tiger of some sort?
His hair looks great.
You know, it's just a very bad message, so to speep. I mean, these people look at this and go, oh, yeah, I want to play with a lion. I want to do this with a lion. You know, him, Mr. Macho, Steven Seagal. I'm in here with the big cats. I'm fearless. I'm going to do tug of war with the big cat. I'm going to give it a little bottle because I'm the dominant one here. You know, listen, this is a guy who's got a little bit of a complex. He's gained some weight and he's trying to get some relevance in, when I've been done with my career type of mode.
I don't think that
Seem to know him well.
I don't think both of us had to take him out there as gaining weight. I at least filed it under I did the same thing during the pandemic and then just put a series of curtains and drapes on myself.
I will say, Dan, you are looking very, very fit. When you walked in the highlight, I just went, whoa, what happened to Dan? He's been working out.
Are all of you wearing sweatpants now? Did you guys all break out the sweatpants because it's 50 degrees here and you don't know what fits and you need something a little bit elastic around the waist?
Jeans, regrettably for me.
Yep, jeans for me.
Too snug?
Me too.
Yeah. The least favorite game. Well, second least favorite game behind does this suit still fit? Do these jeans still fit?
Let's show Ron another photo here. Ron, tell me, I'm told that this is one of 8. There are only 8 in the world. The white alligator. The white alligator in the world. This is at the Orlando Zoo. It seems like a baby. Does that mean that this was just born? That a white alligator was just born?
That hatched out. It just hatched out. It's a genetic mutation. It's called a leucistic alligator. It's not an albino because there are more albino alligators. Albino the eyes would be pink. Okay, leucistic means that it retains some pigment in the eye, but the rest of the body is white. And it's just a very rare genetic mutation. And I don't know if there's only 8 in the world, but I know there's only a handful. There's certainly not a lot of them. There were some very famous ones that were at the Audubon Zoo for a long time. We had one here at Zoo Miami years ago that was kind of on a tour, a traveling tour to zoos around the country. It looks like white chocolate. They look like they're made out of white chocolate when you look at them.
What is the rarest animal you have ever seen in the wild? There was a Jason Williams there for you,
Yeah.
Stugotz.
The rarest animal.
Window closed.
Is it a snow leopard or something else?
I've never seen a snow leopard in the wild. It's one of my dreams to see one in the wild. The rarest animal, it's going to sound anticlimactic to you. It's called the Panamanian golden frog. They are now believed to be extinct in the wild. I spent days going up and down a hill mountain in monsoon rain trying to find one to photograph it. I finally found one and I photographed it. And it's a beautiful little frog, but it's just a frog. It's not like a snow leopard.
Is it your proudest photograph? Do you have a photograph that you waited the longest for that you regard as your greatest feat of persistence?
I don't know if I have a greatest photograph of greatest. My favorite photograph of all is, there's the Panamanian golden frog. Look at that. My famous favorite photograph of all is actually a photograph in the book Pride of a Lion. It's the photograph when Kashifa goes to comfort Kazee after Kazee almost got killed by his stepdad.
Spoiler alert.
That photograph is just, to me, is my favorite photo of the over 1 million photographs that I've taken. That photograph, when I took it, I remember brought me to tears.
He is an exceptional photographer. How often has that happened? Give me a number, Ron. Number of times you've taken a photograph that brought you to tears.
Less than 5.
Yeah, I imagine. And he's an exceptional photographer. The Pride of a Lion, as I mentioned, it has been very popular. Thank you to our listeners for supporting it. Get it wherever it is you get books. And I remind you, this holiday season is an excellent time to donate to Ron Magill, who spends his time every week here. He does not get paid for any of this. You pay him with support. You pay him by supporting his substantive endowment, which he uses to buy new Cadillacs and better clothes. Ron, thank you, sir. Good talking to you.
And booze for his wife.
And booze for his boozy wife, Rita, who's
Merry
a lot more
Christmas
fun than
to all
he
of
is.
you guys, man. Merry Christmas to all of you guys.
See you later, Ron. Good talking to you.
Always a pleasure.
Can't spell margarita without the Rita. I don't understand, given all the money that Meadowlark Media spends on a variety of different things, why it is that both Roy and Greg Cote cannot have microphones in the eating area, but I am told that we are going now to Greg Cote and Roy, and that Greg Cote is going to be the one responsible for putting the microphone in Roy's face when it's Roy's turn to talk. So can you do that now, Greg? I have some questions for Roy. I've not been able to interview him, and we have no proof. No proof, no visual proof anywhere that he has a turkey, that he cooked a turkey, that a turkey was taken out of an oven. We put a lot of video cameras around him so we could get video proof of Roy has done something. But now I am told that he has in front of him what is perhaps a ham. I'm hoping, like Billy is, that it's a ham. Roy, where are you in the proceedings? How confident are you you're about to beat Greg Cote? Because we saw what Greg Cote did, and it's going to be hard to beat.
I am now officially up to 85% on my success feeling right now. I really want to open this thing up and carve it because it's done resting.
All right, go ahead.
Wow.
Go ahead and start doing that. Do you have the utensils necessary? Can we see the bird? We don't have proof you cooked that and you didn't just pick it up somewhere. Like we don't.
Whoa. No electric knife for
those
Roy.
Are good. Those are good utensils. You're feeling good about your ability to beat him? Let's see how brown your turkey is, because his turkey was pretty damn good. Oh, that's
Roy,
pretty good too.
That is a nice looking turkey.
Yeah,
Yes.
that looks pretty good too.
Amazing.
Oh, wow, from Greg. The first concession we've heard so far that Greg might be a little bit scared. How are you feeling, Greg, about what Roy's put together there?
I'm feeling confident, but when Roy described what he was making, it sounded great, and visually, it's stunning. It's astounding to the eye.
Can we see yours as well, just to see who is winning visually? Can you take yours apart, because yours looked great coming out of the fryer. But man, I'm telling you, that Roy's looks better. Yours looks shriveled up.
Yes.
Yours looks a little dry, I gotta say.
Oh, wow.
You know what? The first time I made a deep fried Cajun bird, it looked dry. And I also thought, because of the cooking process, that it would be oily, but it's neither. If cooked properly, it's not dry in the least, and it's not oily. It's just nothing but delicious.
Well, this is all important data for us as judges. Can I get a different angle, not unlike the Eagles-Seahawks interception to end the game? I'm going to need to see that different angle right there.
Roy's looks better.
The Cajun bird does look a lot better, though, from that angle.
I think my dad's look
you
better.
have to keep in mind, this is a Cajun bird, so it's supposed to look a little bit drier.
And it's supposed to look fried because he fried it. So that's a
Roy's
big
is
difference.
store-bought, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You guys think that the fried bird looks visually better
do.
than
I'm like 20% sure Roy's is actually a cake.
Roy, can you go ahead and start
Gotta
cutting?
spread that seasoning out a little more, Roy.
Go ahead and start your cutting. And when are we gonna? My mouth is watering. When are we gonna do some of this tasting here? Because Roy has said he's now 85% confident. Roy, it came out the way that you wanted it to. Like now that you're cutting it, everything feels
Mic him, Dad.
the way that it should. Greg, hold the microphone in front of his mouth. Thank you.
I feel like it's a bit over on the temperature, but better over than under because I'm definitely not going to serve this thing undercooked.
Damn,
Wow,
it does
that
look
is a
good.
damn good
So
cut.
good, Roy.
It is not a cake. It is indeed a turkey. That is a good cut.
Looks really juicy. It looks great.
For the moment, Greg, can you cut an initial cut so we can judge these birds based off of the first cut?
Yeah, normally Christopher does my cutting, but I'm willing to try this.
All right.
Someone want to come in between them and like hold a mic?
Go ahead. You go do it. You go do it. And you also bring back a couple of pieces here so that I can
Yes.
taste them. And
In the name of data.
and I can. I'm just all I'm doing there is making sure that we get results that are tasty and accurate. I will give you an initial vote.
Very nice of you.
Yeah. Which do you
Really
have a
taking one
prediction
for
here,
the team, Dan.
Stugotz? Do you have a prediction on what you think is going to happen here? Like which one's going to be better? Because if you just tell me fried turkey, almost always I'm going to say anything fried is going to be better.
I've had fried turkey. I have it every single year, and so I know what it tastes like. If Greg did it correctly, I believe his will taste better than Roy's, but Roy's looks fantastic. It really does.
Oh, a disaster when it comes to plating the first cut.
I feel like Dan needs to be blindfolded when tasting these, so he doesn't have any bias whatsoever. Because if he looks at the outside, he'll know which is which. So I think we should put both on a plate, and if you want, you could close your eyes, so we don't have to figure out a blindfold situation.
And you're going to need a palate cleanser as well in between bites.
Okay, I will not look. I will do what we're doing now with my eyes closed, but that means that I will need you guys to guide me over the last 6 minutes
Stugotz
of
can
this
feed
segment.
you.
Yeah, we're going to get you some coffee grounds in between turkeys so you can have a fully cleansed palate.
You had the turkey, and Chris just walked away with it,
Right.
which is not
You
great.
could open your eyes again.
Yeah, open your
I love
eyes.
the
for his
sound
left.
of the power saw going
Yes,
off in the
it
background.
does sound like Greg Cote has a buzzsaw of some sort, whereas Roy just went with primitive utensils.
Is this performance enhancing? We didn't say that like an electric saw was okay, but we didn't say it was banned.
I need a knife. Otherwise, it's my fingers. So I need a knife.
And then it becomes sausage and turkey becomes the meal when you talk about sausage link fingers, all of which are the same size.
Yeah. All right, Lewis has brought in the coffee grounds for your in-between bite.
Okay.
Now Chris needs to bring you the turkey.
No, I have the turkey. The
You have the
is here.
turkey?
Yes.
You have
turkey
both
is here.
birds?
I have both.
All right,
yes.
you hand feed, just to make sure Dan's not looking, you hand feed Dan the first turkey.
Okay.
My eyes are closed.
Here's the first
You're
turkey,
gonna have
Dan.
to record which one this is.
It's coming closer to your mouth as we speak. Let me move my mic a
Stu,
little
do you
bit.
know which bird that is? Don't say
I
over
know
the
which
air.
I know which bird this is. Yes.
All right,
I think.
here you go.
I don't.
Taste that Turk off.
Tasty, not terribly juicy. Doesn't seem like it's the fried one.
No way to know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel
Keep
like
your
there
eyes
is
closed.
there is
Yeah.
a way to know.
Well,
I feel
bring
like.
Blind taste test.
Bring it back around the circle, Turk.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Roy's
Turkey
eating
number
some
2.
turkey.
That's better.
Oh wow.
The second one's better.
That was Greg's turkey.
Wow. Just one vote, though.
That's just my vote. Yes.
We're going to have to circle Turk this later on, though.
It is delicious, though. And now you're going to.
Did he have the coffee grounds in between?
I did not.
Oh,
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
do it all
We gotta
over.
do it again?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why we
Yeah,
did
you have
that.
to eat more turkey.
Because you may be attributing parts of the first bird to that flavor profile.
The first one didn't have the flavor. It didn't. There was an explosion of flavor in the second one.
Maybe it's just a composite of both.
I just used the same fork as you did. Are you okay? Or- I'm just making sure. You sick? You feeling like, flu coming on or anything?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm
going
not.
for
I
it.
didn't do a COVID test this morning. But you guys are watching what you're eating. You guys are looking at exactly what it is.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
taking.
We're going to be honest now. We were watching what you were eating. I just wanted to do the blind taste test because it was a funny visual.
Is it totally disgusting to make a bunch of chewing sounds in a large? I mean, we got 2 million plus downloads a week, and now we're just chewing on air.
I'm having Roy's bird right now. That is a juicy bird.
I got to tell you, they're both delicious. They really are.
That's true.
Yes.
But I thought the first one, I thought Roy's was a little bit plainer than the second one. The second one really had a burst of flavor, but I may be contaminating the jury pool right here. Are we going to go around the room and vote? Because this is a big deal. If it's going to be, if it's going to be 6 of us, and we need 4 people to break a tie at least.
Yes.
So
I'm still data collecting right now. I've had one bird going in for my second. This is Greg's Cajun fried bird.
how do you feel about the one you already had, the Roy?
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
Different, yeah.
Definitely taste the flavor in Roy's, though. It is good.
No, Roy's is delicious, no doubt. Yeah.
I like both of these.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough. I'm going to have to keep eating some.
Pick a side.
All right, so Lucy, are you ready? Do you feel like you've got greasy fingers? You are in the proper mode to be a Turk-off voter?
I think I like Roy's better.
Woo!
I'm voting for my dad. I'm
got-
sorry, Roy. Like, I wanted to kind of like zag here because I know you think I'm going to go with my dad. So juicy. I go with my dad.
I still don't know.
Billy, are you ready to vote
Is that a
here?
little bit of fish?
Why would there be
Getting
fish
like a
in there?
That was the
hint
parking garage.
Fish.
Getting a little hint of fish.
Greg's feet.
I taste a little foot in mine. Yes.
Salmonella's back on the table.
Billy, who are you voting for? Because we've got a 2-1 so far in favor of one Greg Cote.
I think I like Roy's better. They're both really good, but I think I like Roy's.
Stugotz, I'm not going to let you cast the deciding vote because you will foul everything up. So go ahead
What do
and
you mean?
you will be the
I'm a
5th
foul.
voter.
It's very funny.
Go ahead and pick which turkey you believe to be best.
I got to tell you, I'm impressed with both. They both taste great. Roy did a nice job, but Greg's is just better. I am voting Greg Cote.
Okay, so Mike Ryan is the deciding vote, and this is very dramatic because if he selects Greg, do you need any more testing? Do you need any more data? If
Who's
he-
our 7th
I'm
if he
gonna,
says Roy?
I'm gonna have one more of Greg's.
It's
because-
Cougs.
Okay, we will go to the other room. Get Cougs in there between Greg and Roy. Get Cougs in there to see if we have to cast the deciding vote. Because Mike Ryan is now eating a brontosaurus turkey leg the way Fred Flintstone would. That is obviously a Greg Cote production there, right? That's the fried one.
That's straight from Epcot. I mean, it's good.
It's a good turkey,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna have to go with Roy's.
Woo! We've got a tie that is going to be decided by Cougs next. It's hard to explain to people back when we were in the last days of the Clevelander and they were tearing up plumbing and piping to build us a kitchen before we came to these studios because we never had an eating area before. The new Meadowlark employees who watched during the breaks when our crew would come out to eat with a kitchen for the first time because they didn't have a kitchen for 8 years. It was as if Wolverines were ransacking an area when the fridge got open. This was not the behavior of human beings. It was not the behavior of trained children. It was wild animals descending on the kitchen. And I was reminded of it moments ago because people were stacked on top of each other complimenting Roy for how good his turkey is. Evidently, they expected the fried turkey to be good already, but everyone virtually insulted Roy by telling him again and again in a really sincere, heartfelt way you don't hear around here very often because the compliments are pretty begrudging around here. People were stunned that Roy produced such a good turkey.
Imagine he had the turkey he wanted. I mean, his turkey. You know, the go-to turkey. I mean,
Wow.
Right.
I hadn't
correct.
even considered that
Right.
because I'm ready to make this proclamation. Roy's turkey is the best turkey I've ever had in my entire life. It was great.
Greg Cote said it's the best oven-roasted turkey he's ever seen. It was a begrudging compliment. Greg did not. Greg's here to win. Greg was
Yes.
not here to tie. Greg was not here to be rivaled in the turk-off.
he did say it. I witnessed it. It's the kind of thing you say, though, Dan, when you know your turkey tastes better. I mean,
Well, you think it's false flattery. I do not. Greg Cote wanted to whoop that ass, and he did not. It's very close. It's 3-3, and so we've brought in the producer of South Beach Sessions.
Keep in mind that this whole turk-off started when everyone just assumed Greg had the best turkey and Roy was a lone dissenting voice. And I got to tell you, that confidence was warranted.
Everyone here agrees. There is not a dissenter that Roy's turkey is great. But we've got a tie right now. and it is being settled by the producer, the soft-spoken producer of South Beach Sessions.
That's what he does, huh?
Juice and the levels way up here.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get the microphone to be quite loud. Kugler, where are you in the proceedings? How are you feeling about everything? Which is the first turkey that you're going to have?
I'm gonna try
He's
Roy's.
talking.
All right, go ahead and try Roy's. Let's see what we've got here. Let's see. Here is it's Kugler is quite the deadpan artist.
Very deliberate chew there.
Yeah.
He's generally deliberate.
Nodding.
He's
his
nodding.
Head. Yep. in
Not
approval.
great.
Is this a second bite of the first turkey?
Going in for a second bite.
Is this the second bite? What are you doing,
Pretty
Kugler?
good.
Okay, pretty
Pretty
good.
good.
Pretty good.
All right, let's see what we've got here.
Is this the same turkey or bite number 2?
This is big right here. Hold on a second.
Hold on.
This is
That's still
dramatic.
Roy's.
Still Roy's. Okay.
All right.
Get to Greg's.
Yeah, get to the other one. This is
Greg.
lunch.
It's very dramatic.
He didn't cleanse his palate.
All right.
Greg Cote continues to shovel stuff into his
Wow.
Kugler made a face.
What does that face
Not
mean?
a great face. It
Is
looks like he
No,
smelled
not
a
great
fart.
face,
Is
yeah.
it dry? What? Oh, he's going to have a little
didn't
extra
cleanse,
here.
though, I
Okay, this
mean.
is. Hold on. This is very dramatic. Let's see what. Kugler, the next word out of your mouth is the winner. You say one name and only one name.
Seems easy.
Give us the winner.
I'm gonna have to give it to Roy.
Wow. Upset. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh my God!
Stunning upset.
Oh my God!
You are dead to Greg Cote, Cougs.
Oh!
Good turkey. Damn good turkey, Roy.
Wow.
Holy
A
shit!
huge underdog.
Roy,
Oh my
great
God.
job.
Stunning
Roy.
upset.
Yes.
Captain Turk.
Yeah.
I mean,
Way to go! And in honor of Roy, the champion, imagine what he would have done with his own bird.
That's what I'm
Imagine
saying.
what he would have done if he had had more time than a single week.
I don't think my palate could have taken him having, say, 8 days to prepare.
He's like Andy Reid after a bye.
That's a huge upset. That's a huge road win. Like that was that no one expected that. Such a built-in advantage to be the fried turkey in that situation. In honor of Roy's victory, Stugotz is now going to give you the top 5 athletes ever who connote turkey. Are you ready, Stugotz?
I am ready, Dan.
Any outside looking in, or are we just starting with number 5?
I have 5, Dan.
Number 5.
Irving Fryer.
Number 4.
Jimmy Gobble.
Number 3.
Turk Wendell. Love that guy. You love that guy. Who doesn't love that guy?
Look up his superstitions, Chris Cote. I believe he brushed his teeth in the dugout between innings and couldn't stop eating licorice. Number 2.
Jalen Waddle.
Because of turkey waddles?
Yep.
Number 1.
Tim McCarver.
I want to get to the football story of the day. Are you ready to get to the football story of the day? We have spent 2 hours on turkey.
You nailed it. He jumped over the foul line. He brushed his teeth in between innings. He slammed the rosin bag on the mound before facing batters, and he chewed black licorice.
So he jumped over the line. Makes me think of a video I saw of in-game entertainment that I would like the video staff to get me quickly, which is a dog jumping rope, double dutch. That is not something that I have seen before. I did not know that dogs could be trained to do such a thing, but in a Pacers game yesterday, and incidentally, when I speak of the Pacers, the Clippers look really good and James Harden looks really good. Kawhi
Yes.
Leonard looks relieved to have someone else doing the usage rate stuff.
I have a bold NBA statement to make. The Clippers are going to win the NBA championship. How about that?
It took them a brief second, but they do look damn good.
Yes.
I mean, James Harden
Yeah.
looks special, and
But they are counting on 3 guys that always get hurt.
and Kawhi Leonard looks happy to have James Harden around. And you say they are counting on 3 guys who are hurt, but when they only have 2 of them, they're still pretty good because those 2 are really good. I thought it was going to be hard for all 3 of them to get theirs, but it has not been. And they figured now the Pacers play a pace that is perfect for the Clippers, but they've won 8 straight.
If this dog wants to impress me, jump rope by yourself.
Well, it's jumping rope with 2 other dogs. How do you just want the dog to be able to jump rope the way humans do, even though they don't have arms that work that way?
This thing's just looking at a treat.
It is double Dutch jumping, though, there. It is doing that successfully.
There's other dogs holding the other end of the rope also.
Not impressed.
You're not impressed? Okay. You're hard to impress.
What impresses you? Like, what do you do that's so impressive?
Roy's turkey. Roy's turkey impressed him.
You're not impressed by this video? This video's rad. The dogs holding the ropes are the real stars because they're turning their heads as it's going on. Nothing?
This dog, for the audio audience, is jumping 30 times over double Dutch ropes being held by 2 other dogs. It's impressive that dogs have been trained that way. Chris Cote, hard to impress. You can see why. When he comes from such a long lineage of distinguished father, it would be hard to reach the standard of where it is his dad places excellence.
How upset is Greg Cote right now? I mean, seriously.
Well, let's get him in here because he's been out of the show and we haven't had enough Greg Cote today, and I want to get him in on this football discussion, but he's too busy eating, Chris Cote has just told me. He's got to be despondent. He didn't think that anyone's turkey was better than his turkey, and that's an enormous upset. I did not have that happening, but I wanted to talk about Tom Brady's tweet and the suspension for the rest of the year, Stugotz, of DeMonte Kazee. Because Tom Brady writes, nobody likes seeing players get hurt, but hard hits happen. QBs should not be throwing the ball in areas where they are exposing their own teammates to these types of hits. Coaches need to coach better. Quarterbacks need to read coverages and throw the ball to the right places. And defenders should aim for the right hitting areas. To put the blame on the defensive player all the time is just flat out wrong. Need better quarterback play. It's not okay, quarterbacks, to get your wide receivers hits because of your bad decisions. I believe last night's game, Stugotz, while a bit of a surprise, and it produced a nice Drew Lock moment for us, emotional moment.
Yes.
Last night's game feels to me like where we are on NFL standards right now, and it's why Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady say it's a mediocre product. 2017 is about what I'm expecting from just about every game. That's where I am right now toward the end of the season. Broken parts, backup quarterbacks. I'm not going to get a lot better than 20-17 on average on what I'm expecting. But this particular hit, Stugotz, at any point in my lifetime before recently, has been a wonderful football hit. And
yes.
I am now at the point where they have changed the way that I view football, where anytime I feel, ouch, that seems too violent, I'm now expecting a flag. I'm expecting a flag for what just used to be football. And this was to suspend someone for 3 games.
And the playoffs, Dan, if they make it. I mean.
I understand it. It's where we are with the new rules. Even Tomlin's like, yeah, I get it, but I don't understand how you can play defense well in that sport if you have to start governing that stuff because you're worried about losing several weeks of paycheck for making a decision in a split second that at any other time in the pipeline living football, that's the hit you want to make in that situation because the wide receiver is exposed and you don't want him to have the football.
It's interesting because I know the NFL wants to clean up the sport, and they should clean up the sport the best they can, but their sport is a violent sport by nature. There's a lot of violence in that sport, and there's a lot of world-class athletes, as you pointed out, Dan, moving at speeds and body angles where I don't know what you're supposed to do in that spot if you're a defensive back. I saw the hit. I saw it live. I said to myself, ooh, that doesn't look good. You want to suspend him for a game to make a point? That's fine. But to suspend him for the entire season?
No, but it's not the first time. Like, it's not.
Dan, I know.
It's body of work. Well, but it matters, Stugotz. It matters. If you're a serial offender, the only way to stop the serial offense is to make the new rules happen to him. Like, it's the only way to actually change this, and I'm not sure you can change it anyway.
But I like where Tom Brady is coming from, where he says there's more than one person in this equation. There's the coach, there's the quarterback, and I'm here for that. Like, Tom Brady blasting quarterbacks is a lot of fun, because if they question Tom Brady, he holds up 6 rings. I mean, what are you going to do?
His words in that tweet carries a lot of weight. Also, Tom Brady made a living throwing to Wes Welker in dangerous positions. Wes Welker got lit up plenty of times. Unfortunately, it's a sport with a lot of variables going over there, and sometimes you're not really realizing when you're releasing the ball that place is dangerous, but it's on a football field. Every place is dangerous.
But it seems like Brady is saying, hey, the quarterback's at fault too, which I love.
I understand.
So I would love if if Brady can influence a new rule where the quarterback gets the penalty for putting his wide receiver in a compromising position, that would be awesome.
Brady's unique for several reasons in that he played in an era that predated them adopting rules to protect him, and he excelled in both. So when he who was there for the sea change and how the game was called weighs in on this, you should always respect it.
It's a no-win situation for the NFL because there continues to be too many concussions.
Hold on a second. It's a no-win situation for the NFL is what you were saying
Because?
without realizing that your microphone wasn't working.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought someone else controlled my microphone.
Someone else has. It's okay.
But you can hear whether it's working or not.
I did, yeah.
It wasn't working.
Right.
You kept going. It's okay.
$5.
Because?
It's a no-win situation.
This is a new and unimproved
Oh, my
Dan
God.
LeBatard Show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
Greg Cote is now officially mad at us.
Yeah. It didn't feel right then. I got to be.
Because he got his ass kicked by
I
Roy?
can't even look at him.
He is not in a good mood right now, and he is snipping at me in the break because we've cut him off a lot today. I mean, he knows where the clocks are, and they're in the same place every time, but I am being blamed for his microphone not being, well, he's just very distrustful right now. He's just saying, was all of that me being set up to perfectly comedically clip me with 1 second left? And I'm like, no, it was just general incompetence until we got to you're close to the time limit. But we brought you in here to find out what is the real reason for your rage, which is you've lost the Turk off. You didn't think that was possible. You didn't think there was a circumstance under which you were losing that, correct?
No, that's not true. When I talked to Roy beforehand about what had gone into his turkey, the ingredients he used, the manner in which he used them, it sounded wonderful, and it tasted just as good. Honestly, I think it was a just decision. I'm glad it was close. But Roy's bird was the best I have ever tasted coming out of an oven. It was super juicy. No turkey's perfect, but it was excellent.
What was wrong with his turkey?
If I had to critique it, I would say it was a little bit on the salty side. Nevertheless, it was excellent. I probably ate more of Roy's turkey than I ate of my own.
The turkey was salty.
You do love salt.
I do. I really do.
It's not the turkey that's salty. It's you right now.
Okay, well, I would have voted for Roy's turkey.
Whoa.
I would have. I thought
that's a lie.
Classy in defeat.
Really
classy.
Well, I think it's the fact that Roy has, like, yours is a cheat code. Like, dipping it in oil is kind of just like, it's hard to screw that up. Where Roy in an oven, that is, most people agree, it's hard to get that great. It's usually just fine, and Roy's was great.
There was more that went into Roy's. It not only does it take much, much longer in an oven, but he put so many ingredients into his. All I do is dry rub mine and let the oil do the rest. Having said that, it was a big challenge to cook my bird perfectly because of the oil temperature situation. We had to bring it down. Then we had to keep controlling the amount of flame to keep it in the green zone. So it was a challenge.
Excuses.
And I thought it turned out very well, but Roy's was exceptionally
Feels like
good.
a post-game presser.
Dan, before
Questions?
Before the show, I learned from Greg that he's the only one that knows what's in his dry rub. He hasn't trusted anyone in his family with that. And then I asked him, when you go, are you going to leave that to someone? And he said, no, I'm taking it with me.
That's
He's
right.
not going to tell anyone
It dies
what's in
with
his
him.
dry rub.
Yeah.
You should leave Roy's recipe with Chris.
Actually, Roy was kind enough to share his recipe with me.
Huh.
And I will try to replicate Roy's recipe because it was by far the best oven. Part of the reason I started cooking a deep-fried Cajun bird is that I was never satisfied with oven turkey. I thought it was very pedestrian.
Until now.
Yeah.
It's like Stephen Bonner versus Forrest Griffin. They were just becoming the best of friends after going through that combat.
Roy makes an effort to get the taste he got there. I mean, I want to see the list of all his ingredients because that's a lot that goes into his turkey.
He's also like injecting flavor, right?
Yeah,
That's
he
true,
injects, which I've never been an injector. But now I gotta rethink that.
Feels
as
like
well.
cheating, right? I mean, I love it.
Steroids? feels like enhancement.
Roy earned the victory.
Mike Ryan made the analogy of fighters becoming friends for going through the fire. I was thinking more, I believe it was Christy Brinkley got into a helicopter crash with someone and then married him 7 days later. I believe there's some trauma bonding that goes on.
I was thinking Rocky and Apollo.
I believe that Roy and
It's like the Good Morning America anchors that started dating. The rumors are circulating that their ex-lovers have found each other through this.
Roy and Greg have been through the fire. Roy, I don't think you've had a better victory around here than this one. I believe this is your proudest day in nearly 20 years around this show, where you raised the expectations to an unreasonable place.
Started terribly.
And yeah, it couldn't have been worse. Like the way we got there could not have gone worse.
He only had a week.
The live line was Roy plus 1,300 at that point.
It really dropped because
win probability memes.
We've been here for 2.5 hours, and somehow, even though we are now also a video company, there's no proof that Emeril Lagasse didn't make that turkey and bring it to Roy. Like, we don't have video accompaniment that shows that Roy didn't cheat. There is the possibility that, was it Rosie Ruiz who took the subway for 19 of the miles to win the Boston Marathon?
That's a heady play, man.
Wow.
But Roy, is this your proudest day?
I am. I'm really surprised that everybody thought that this was gonna suck, but
not suck, but
pale in comparison.
Beat Greg, beat a fried turkey. No, I don't think anyone thought it was gonna suck. We just didn't think Greg would be conceding. Look, if anyone in our audience had sportsmen like Greg saying, "I didn't lose," he is still chasing after Jessica. You didn't carve a better pumpkin than me.
That's true. No, that's true.
Yeah, that's right.
She used a stencil. Not that I still harbor, regret about
all the
that,
details, right?
Yeah. Stencil.
I've never heard my dad admit defeat the way he just did.
Or that he's wrong about anything. Like this, I don't believe you understand what a compliment it is for this man to not only lose gracefully, but say it's the best turkey he's ever tasted coming out of an oven. It's like, he can't give a better compliment than that.
No, it is. Other than being a little salty for my palate, it was almost perfect.
He's actually right, because it was brined already, and then I brined it again, so that's what all the salt came from.
Wow.
You double brined?
I double brined.
The flavor was divine. And I tell the truth at all times. If I thought my turkey was better, I would be the first one to say it and shout it from the rooftop. Roy made an excellent turkey. It was juicy. The injector really did its thing. It was just great on every level.
The steroids helped.
The saltiness, but that's fine too.
HGH.
You know what? I've never been a guy who injects,
right?
So I'm not privy to exactly what that does, other than add juiciness. But the flavor it adds as well was just great.
How do you feel about Cougs?
If I'm being a little bit critical, I don't believe he took the skin. To appreciate a deep fried Cajun bird, you have to eat it with skin.
Agreed.
Because the meat itself,
an hour after it comes out,
the meat itself is flavorful, but not flavorful enough to compete with that. But when you add the unique flavor of the skin of a Cajun bird deep fried, that's when you get the full package. And I'm not sure if Kugler tasted the skin.
This is a terrific breakdown. Honestly, I'm learning so much.
Great.
I am told that Lewis is about to find for us video proof that Roy did indeed cook that turkey, a proof that we don't have in 2.5 hours of videoing him.
Yeah, I did see a Boston Market receipt drop out of his pocket.
What? Really?
I'm just saying.
And you haven't tasted that good?
I'm just kidding, Roy.
But while they get us that video, and we will wait for it, go ahead and make the point you were going to make that pissed you off, that we cut you off on. Just while that
you're
video
going to cut me off again.
No, the video.
No. We do have the video ready of Roy.
Does
going
it have
through the
audio,
process.
or is
Yes.
it just B-roll?
It has
All
audio.
right, let's go ahead and listen to that and watch that now of Roy actually doing this and getting the proof we need here.
All right, I'm here for the big Turk-off, the turkey cook-off between me and Greg Cote. I've been up since 3 a.m. prepping this turkey right here. And actually, it's been 3 days worth of prepping. I brined the turkey already, as you can see. This morning, I put the herb butter on top of it. I also injected it with my marinade. And now, as you can see, fresh fruit. Got the garlic, got some shallots there and some fresh herbs that I'm gonna fill the cavity of the turkey with. And then, it's going in the oven. 350 for about 3 hours. So we'll see who the winner's going to be.
The customary broadcasting energy that Roy brings to all the proceedings.
Actually a lot.
I actually have more doubts that he cooked this turkey.
Simply
now.
bored by the turkey.
I'm with Mike on this.
I actually, the whole time, thought he cooked the turkey until now.
I want to apologize to Roy. I feel like I owe him an apology. It appears to be a turkey that tastes like it takes about a week to prepare. Like it was not a quick thing.
Why did you act like you didn't prepare though? You just said in that clip that you had you were doing this for 3 days, and then we got you on. You're like, I don't know any of this.
The bird quality?
The bird quality, yes.
Yeah, not a perfect bird.
BQ.
He's very precise about his poultry.
Kugler, do you understand what it's like to finish in first place around here in lack of broadcasting energy? I salute you, Kugler, for being able to have supplanted Roy in this regard. But, Greg, please give me your thoughts on what we were talking about, which is it's really hard to play football and defense in that league. When you're moving at a high rate of speed, it's hard to cover these people, and you've got to hit them and get them down, but not too hard, or you're going to lose the rest of your season and a lot of money.
You stop that because?
Well, that's why I say it's a no-win situation for the NFL. They can't do the right thing here because if they let it go, and if we have, and the flags are killing it. Anytime there's a big play in the NFL, I hold my breath expecting a flag. It's terrible for the game. But if they don't call all these flags, you see a third of the starting quarterbacks in the league out for at least 2 games this season. You see too many concussions are still happening, including at the quarterback position. So they have to literally err on the side of cautions, which is what they're doing. Too many penalties. They're coddling the quarterbacks, but they have no choice but to do that.
It can't actually be changed, correct? It's not. You can penalize it as much as you want, make as many examples and symbols of everybody.
It's still going to happen.
But I'm just saying it cannot be eliminated or lessened, correct?
I think it can be because you see it sometimes on a sack where, one of the rules is you can't fall on a quarterback with your full weight. You have to go off to the side or something. And time after time, I see big defensive tackles doing exactly that.
That's correct. I'm saying this one, though. I'm not saying you're right. They have been able, and it doesn't keep the quarterbacks any healthier,
right.
But you do see defenders letting go of quarterbacks who continue the play because they're afraid to hit them.
But Dan, you're talking about bang bang plays, right? Like that's different.
I'm talking about this
Yes,
one. I'm
right.
talking about how Kazee ends up not playing any more games this season because of a decision that was made in a fraction of a second at a high rate of speed. Was it Pittman that he hit?
Yes,
It was just a totally exposed receiver, which is something that cornerbacks have always dreamed of. They dream of that hit, and I don't know, while wanting the game to be safer, I don't know how future generations prevent that hit unless you change the rules even more. That you just simply never allow that hit under any circumstances, or the ability for someone like me to explain it away as how are you supposed to do that in a fraction of a second?
Or make the penalties harsher, I guess. I mean, he's out for the
pretty
season.
harsh.
I know.
Right. But it's harsh because he's a previous offender.
This is the new and unimproved Dan LeBatard show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
They say that, the assistant commissioner, assistant vice president, whoever it is, used to be Troy, the
Troy
quarterback.
Vincent.
Yeah.
I
don't know who it is now. It's always a former player.
Is it Runyon?
It could be.
I think it's John Runyon.
But they keep track of all that.
It is John Runyon,
And they
yes.
explain in a letter to the guy, you were being penalized this much because you have had previous offenses here, here, and there. They quantify it all.
You did hear that we stopped talking about 30 seconds ago, right?
Yeah, I heard the horn. I just, I heard.
But it was so good that we just re-racked and started back up again. And we got most of your points.
We're back up again?
We're in it right now.
If
about
you were a sore
94%
loser,
of it, yeah.
If you were a sore loser about today, we probably would have just stopped it then. But you've been so admirable in defeat that we wanted to throw you a bone.
We have an update. Roy, he's getting compliments from everywhere around the company. So Roy in the Slack just said, thank you for all the compliments. Here's the recipe. And he attached a website link, which means it's not his recipe. It's from a website.
I never said it was my recipe.
I feel like that takes a little away.
He's like Rick Rubin. He samples and he just punches things up and makes it better.
Roy, just say thank you next time. I mean...
Lie.
Take the victory.
Yeah, Roy,
take your lap.
Take credit for somebody else's work, for crying out loud.
Speaking of lying, I want to get to a Netflix documentary I saw called Bad Surgeon. It was 3 episodes, and I spent the entire time with my mouth hanging open because I met a liar bigger than Stugotz. And
what?
Wow.
It's the first time I've ever seen it. And for me, the lies compound so much that it does feel to me while I'm watching it like water is rising in a room when you're lying to your fiancé today about how the Pope is going to marry you and the wedding date is approaching, and you have not yet secured the Pope, that discomfort for me is something out of my nightmares.
At what point? Wait, the Pope can't marry.
He does.
Right.
He does marry some
There's
people
that.
ceremonially, but
be married by. I thought he was like, yeah,
Not marrying
you're
the
gonna
Pope.
be
The
Mrs.
Pope was
Pope.
going to marry them.
That's
Right,
correct.
right.
Okay, my bad.
I was stunned to watch a movie or a documentary about a surgeon and find out that he was replacing windpipes with plastic windpipes and was doing so without having tested it on animals. So people, human beings, started dying and rotting from the inside, and this person was not only getting away with it, he was being celebrated as a world-renowned doctor who didn't feel like he was world-renowned enough, so he made up an assortment of lies to his wife and others about how Barack Obama and Bill Clinton was going to come to their wedding and that the Pope was going to be the one marrying them. And I was watching the whole thing thinking to myself, outside of Stugotz, I'd never met anyone who lied with this sort of proficiency.
Well, thank you.
But to have, it made me wonder how Stugotz feels when the walls start closing in on you. When your wife is like, hey.
That's when I thrive, Dan.
The wedding's in a week.
When I'm up against it and I tell my wife the Pope is going to marry us, that's when I thrive, when the pressure is on.
All right. Well,
Yes.
I don't want to spoil too much
Makes me
of
feel alive.
I don't want to spoil too much of this, but I feel like you thrived the way this guy thrived, that when he was confronted with his fiancée, he's changed his story from I am a surgeon you are marrying, and he made it, I'm a CIA contracted sniper. I couldn't tell anybody about this.
If anyone's going to get Mike Francesa to marry me and my wife, it's me. I mean, come on.
It really did make me think of Stugotz, though. I'm not making that up.
Thank you again.
And in that, it seems
Doesn't
like
bother you at all.
Nah.
for the walls to be closing in on you on something and everyone seeing that you're not telling the truth about something in matters of import.
Well, it's just like you're the comparison point. Like you're the Michael Jordan of lying. No matter what we watch.
Guys, stop.
It
I mean, please. I mean,
it always comes back to you.
I mean,
The GOAT.
I mean, the compliments. I mean, please.
Lucy, are you ready to play a new game that we are debuting right now today? Lucy is the moderator, and Lucy, Greg Cote, is going to make you feel old, I think. You fancy yourself someone who is very good with words. You are very good with words. You know more definitions of words than just about anyone that I know, but Lucy thinks she can stump you.
Okay.
I actually think I can stump all three of you.
Dan thinks he's skating from this.
Greg lost once today. I'm not going to make him do it again, so you
Thank
two
you.
have to help him.
Thank you.
So the Oxford Dictionary declared Rizz as their word of the year. So I put together a list of TikTok words, which Rizz is one of them, and you guys are going to guess what they mean.
What is the definition of Rizz? Start there.
That's
Not a great start.
Not great.
You have to guess.
Said it's one of the words.
I know.
All right.
Thank you, but what's the definition?
Stugotz, close your laptop.
You're not on freak.
On fleek.
Nope.
Fleek.
All right.
I am very much on freak. You should see me in those
Stu,
costumes.
she said close your laptop.
Close your laptop.
Why?
Or at
Because
least, like...
I don't want you to cheat.
It's all ESPN.com.
All right, well, I'm watching your hands. We're
All
good.
right, I'm ready.
All right, put your phone down, please. All right, what do you guys think the definition of Rizz is?
I'm on record as asking, so it's clear
You
that
have to give a guess.
I don't know.
Can you use it in a sentence?
He has a lot of Rizz.
All right, I'm gonna say it's synonymous with sauce. Like he's got a lot of, he's cool.
I would say self-confidence.
Cachet.
All right, I think that was solid. Rizz is short for charisma. So it's like if a guy has a lot of Rizz, that means he's got a lot of charisma, and it's usually in like a flirty, connotation.
Wow.
Okay.
Who has the most Rizz in this room?
I'm not going to answer that question.
All right, continue.
My turn.
I asked the question.
Who won? But who won that? Who
I think
came
you all,
closest?
you all
We
win.
all got it. Okay.
You all win.
won.
Great job.
No, they all lost.
All right. What is OOTD?
OOTD.
You mean the acronym, right?
Yeah.
That was a good filibuster by you,
Thank
asking
you.
a follow-up
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
because.
OOTD.
I'm gonna say overtime drive. I'm gonna say something that is that somebody's got a lot of will and is somebody who works a lot past their fatigue.
You forgot the second O, so that's very wrong.
I love it when I'm
What?
very wrong.
Oh, boy.
Well, the music will carry us.
I have no idea. I don't even.
No, you have to give me a guess. You're making this not as fun as it should be.
Insecurity. That's what I'm going
Okay.
with. Okay.
It stands for outfit of the day.
Oh.
So great job, guys.
Outfit of the day.
Chris Cote, why are you disgusted?
I was trying to give my dad something that would be funny there, and he just didn't.
Yeah, he waved you off on everything.
You guys
couldn't
need
hear him.
faster guesses.
Outfit
right?
of the day.
Yeah, OOTT.
And who calls clothing an outfit? My mother used to do that.
Right.
No, outfit of the day is very
That's
normal.
a nice outfit, she used to say to me. I'm like, what?
Now the
outfit
kids
is-
just call it a fit nowadays.
Yeah, they do actually.
Really?
All right. Next one is chuggy.
Oh, I should know this.
I'm going to say it's in the branch of the Changa family that if somebody is Chugi, they are somebody who is ethnically representative of something.
Stu, what did you just write down?
Chugi.
I think it's.
How'd you spell it?
I think it's,
CHOOGIE.
it's something that tastes really good. Like that
Okay.
is chuggy.
All right, Stu, what's your guess?
It means it's something that's really cool.
right.
Roy's turkey is really
All of you
chuggy.
were very wrong. It means something that's cringy.
That room.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
you guys-
sorry. You're the coolest. We are rampant Chugi people. Our band.
Dan, chuggy is actually kind of chuggy now, so people don't use that term anymore, but just for the game. So please don't say that
Sorry that my OOTD isn't quite Rizz enough for you.
again. You really don't know how to use these. All right, next one is BFFR.
I'm going to say best friends forever.
It's a good guess, but no.
Oh, you stole my thunder.
Best
Again.
friends forever in reverse.
Okay.
Former best friend.
All right,
forever.
Stu, give us your
Rummaging.
guess.
I'm thinking about it. Hold on.
Rummaging.
What is it? BFF what?
BFFR.
R. BFFR. I don't like you.
It stands for B for real.
Oh wow.
I use that one a lot, actually. All right, next one.
I hate our music.
Get into the spirit, Dan. Feel young. Enjoy the music. Just you're doing really bad right now.
Best friends forever.
Give
was
us a
good
normal
guess.
word.
That was
It
a
was a
good-
great
no, that
guess.
was a really good guess.
Best
So
friends
impressed.
reverse. I like
Yes.
that one the best.
All right, ready? No crumbs.
Dash Bridges.
No crumbs.
No crumbs.
That means you've cleaned up after you've done something. You've left the area with no clues.
You've covered your bases.
I like that guess.
I think it means no gossip. I don't want to hear any crumbs about me.
No. All right, Stu, you were the best one. So if you say she ate and left no crumbs, that means she crushed it. She absolutely killed it. So a point for Stu. I believe that's our first
point.
Our
Yes.
first
Whoa!
point.
The point has been assigned. I'm Chugi.
Cringe.
That's not the way that goes.
The next one is if someone says, I'm an accountant.
How many different game show musics have we used here?
I'm an accountant.
This is a good one, though.
I'm an accountant. That means that
I like this being a trick question. It's just you're an accountant.
all it means, that's right, is you work in finance. I'm going to guess that this is someone who is meticulous.
Nope.
Knows how to
guys are-
save money.
Okay.
Greg?
I take it literally. If somebody tells me they're an accountant, I assume that they actually are an
Okay,
accountant.
fair enough.
If someone on TikTok tells you they're an accountant, means they are a sex worker of some sort.
Put it on the poll,
This
please,
is awkward.
Juju, at LeBatardShow. Did you know an accountant on TikTok was a sex worker of some sort?
Congrats on not knowing that, guys.
All right. That's on period, sis.
Wait.
It happens every
Say it
30,
again.
30 days.
Nope.
Dan.
Say it again.
That's on period, sis.
That's on period. On point.
Is that our final guess?
Greg, we love when you stare at us for 5 seconds before
No, that's a good guess. I think Stugotz nailed it.
You can take his guess too.
He's the Roy's turkey of this game.
So your way of saying he nailed it was just by staring at us.
That's right.
I'm trying to come up with an answer.
Staring vacantly at your son and not speaking into a microphone surrounded by silence.
It wasn't my turn.
No crumbs.
It was your
On
turn.
point.
It was your turn.
You're an accountant. Get out of here.
What? Dan's a sex worker?
Every Tuesday, I'm.
You never know.
All right, is that our final guess?
Yes.
That's correct, Stu. You got it.
Yes.
This went, I have more, but this went about as bad as I expected.
Yes, every bit as bad.
Stugotz wins. It's the daughters, man. They keep you young.
Congratulations,
2 points.
Greg, on sounding younger than I do.
Thank you.
Acceptance speech?
No.
That's on period, sis.
It's pretty easy to find the show. DraftKingsNetwork.com is all you have to do if you want to find what we're doing every day, all of it, instead of just the live hour on YouTube. Also, SamsungTVPlus.com. We're on channel 1168. And the praise is pouring in from all over the internet, Stugotz.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody writes, does Dan think that he himself has been giving fresh new takes and analysis at any point in the last 5 years? Dan calling Stu an asshole for spoiling the new Netflix movie of the moment when he himself spoiled the finale of Succession the Monday after it aired and never addressing it is hilarious. I am begging for one crumb of self-awareness.
No crumbs.
You got my tweet.
Dan's thing is anybody on or affiliated with the show is that they are the best at what they do, even though it's not true most of the time. I can't think of a single show topic less interesting in 2023 than player empowerment. First off, no one gives a shit about your highlight team. Second of all, no one gives a shit about your highlight team.
You've crossed the line.
That guy can kick rocks.
At LeBatard Show.
Provided it lands between the 4 and 7.
At LeBatard Show on Twitter, does anyone young use the phrase, you can kick rocks? At LeBatard Show. Stugotz, I thought you'd have an opinion on this video I'm about to show. The Lakers took the in-season tournament and the celebration of it, and they took it seriously. They have had a letdown since winning the tournament. They've lost 3 of their last 4 because once you've won the in-season tournament, there's going to be a natural letdown.
Of course, yes.
They lost at home to the Knicks last night. Look at this ceremony, Stugotz. Look at the lights. They are putting it they're putting it around their actual championship banners, and it looks better and more modern than their actual championship banners.
You can't do that. That banner has no place in the arena.
Pathetic.
It does not. It has no place hanging in the rafters over that basketball court, and it certainly has no place next to the 54 Lakers banner that included George Mikan. I mean, Mikan must be rolling over in his grave right now. Seriously, those are NBA title banners, okay? This is for regular season game number 21 that they won, and they haven't been good since. That's an embarrassment. The fact that LeBron is taking this thing so seriously, the fact that the Lakers are taking it so seriously is a complete embarrassment for one of the great organizations in the history of sports. You don't do it. Maybe the Pacers do it. Maybe the Hawks do it. Maybe another franchise does it. But if you're the Lakers, you're the Celtics, you're the Yankees, you're the Red Sox, you're one of those organizations, you don't do it. It's a meaningless banner, Dan.
I couldn't agree more, and I would liken it to the New York Yankees celebrating with a banner because they had the best record in spring training. It's a made-up tournament. It's got no history whatsoever. Now, 15 years from now, if the in-season tournament is still around and it is accelerated and picked up steam and is truly a bigger deal, maybe.
That's how you get. How do you think you get there? That's one of the
raising
dumbest things you've ever said.
No, because right now, the LA Lakers...
So we just shouldn't pay attention to it for 10 years. And then in 10 years, we can care about it.
You should not put up a banner that's the same size as your NBA championship
But in 10
banner.
years, they should.
No, in 10 years, it might be worth more than it is right now. Right now, it's worth nothing.
It won't be in 10 years,
Would
I promise
love
you.
to know the tournament that wasn't made up. Yeah. All tournaments have to start somewhere, and I will say
but
that
most of them don't start in the middle of a season.
The beginning of a season.
Right.
Yeah, but
most of them are after
Europe,
the season.
they do all across the globe, and I think that they're actually pacifying you a little bit, because from the looks of this, and this is something I picked up from this shot over here, it looks like they're only going to hang one banner, and they've made room on the banner to put up additional years. So it's not like they're volume shooting banners here. There is one banner of recognition for this tournament presently.
But, Mike, don't mix them in with the championship banners. That's all I'm saying. You didn't win a championship.
Such a weird semantics thing you guys are doing. So put it over there in the arena, but not right here.
It's right next to a 1954 championship banner.
Why
is that up?
They represent accomplishments.
Weren't they in Minneapolis back then?
That is an accomplishment. What are you talking about?
Winning the IST?
It's nothing.
It is. No, it's not nothing.
They got a trophy.
It's
there was a competition for all the teams, and they were the ones standing at the end. That is an accomplishment.
Right.
They were unbeaten, correct? They were 7-0?
And they went through really good teams.
You make a trophy for PFPI.
Well, that's got a tradition.
You host a gala.
That's been around since 1969.
Made up title.
Yes, but this
Greg's Lobos have won 8
this will
times.
have tradition.
Everybody's climbing to reach the Lobos.
But this will have tradition
But it
the more
doesn't
that they
now.
do it.
The
That's what
teams
Greg
weren't
is
even
saying.
taking it seriously. They were benching their players to rest them.
Right.
The teams
Thank
were
you.
taking it seriously.
Well, not all of them.
Four at the end.
I dismiss that take. Teams were very clearly taking this one seriously. And just because you guys aren't down with the idea, that's fine. You want to diminish it? Cool. I mean, you have pretty strong opinions on whether or not they should hang a banner. That's what they hang up. There's Southeast Division champion banners. There's a Ron Culp banner at
Ridiculous.
arenas. This
Right.
is, and no disrespect to Ron Culp, he deserved it.
But those banners are nowhere near George Mikan's banners. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
I love
Okay,
you
but it's
being the
not.
guy that's
Okay.
like, move it 20 feet away and then it's fine. Like, what are we doing?
You got to
Interior
respect
designer.
George
You're
Mikan.
getting what you want, though. They're just. It seems like they're just honoring it with one banner, and the additional years that they win, they're going to throw up numbers there. By the way, this might establish a precedent, and all banners with regards to this tournament may follow that in suit. With okay, we're just going to have one banner, and we're just going to throw up the years to acknowledge the years that we've done this. It's not being treated like a main Larry O'Brien championship. It isn't. It's being treated like a new trophy, but it's very much being treated as an inaugural season tournament. And you have to start tradition. You're lamenting that it doesn't have tradition. You don't get tradition without doing it for a couple of seasons.
Well, that's my favorite part about this. Greg Cote demanding history from a tournament that just started.
If it was 10 years, if it's been around for 10 years, maybe we can celebrate it.
Did you have a trophy your first year of your fantasy league? Your first year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did. But it was a modest trophy.
Okay.
It wasn't a banner.
Right.
It wasn't like
It's
a
called Dad's Dynamics Cup.
Well, that's true. After my late great father, Wild Bill Cote. To this day, Dad's Dynamics Cups. Right now, Dick's Rough Riders have tied Tati's Llamas for first place, by the way.
But that trophy goes to the champion of the league, not someone who wins week 3, right?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
thank you.
That's the analogy.
Right.
We don't give a PFPI Cup to the week 3 winner. Great saying by Stugotz there.
Thank you.
It wasn't a saying.
Well, whatever he
Just
said.
a point. Yeah.
If he
This
said
is-
it, it was
this
a
is when he
saying.
starts petering out every week.
If he
He's
said
like,
it, it
fried
was a
a turkey,
saying.
Dad.
Look how tired he is.
I'm not tired.
I'm tired.
The tryptophan is kicking in.
Roy
right
should
now.
be
It
tired.
is.
He got up at 3 a.m. to make an award-winning turkey.
But Dan, you said it right. You have to respect Mike. I mean,
I was making fun of you
What?
for demanding a respect for 1954 George Mikan. And did we find out whether the Lakers are holding up a banner that they won in Minnesota during a time
they did.
when the second jobs that players had in construction?
I'm just guessing based off the color scheme that those belong to Minneapolis. I don't know when they moved, but I do think it was after 1954.
That's why they're called the Lakers, named after the Great Lakes.
I understand, but you don't take offense to them hanging up Minneapolis Lakers titles in that arena.
I mean, they came over when
They have
moved.
history.
Right.
It's the future. They were the future Lakers.
There was somebody, though, in Minnesota in 1954, like shaking a fist at the idea that the Lakers put up their banner, their beloved banner.
Quick correction. They're not named after the Great Lakes. That's 5 of them. They're named after the 10,000 lakes in the state of Minnesota.
Well, that kind of thing. They're named
That
after
kind
the
of thing.
lakes, I said, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Did you turn off your oil?
Oh, no. Yeah, I did.
Wait,
Thank
isn't
you.
a Laker an actual occupation too? It's like a sailor, but they just because there's this other mascot in college that
It's one of those
they're
TikTok
also
words.
called the Lakers, but they have like a dude with like a Popeye pipe in his mouth.
You're saying somebody who makes a living on the lake?
On the lake is also called a Laker.
It's a good question. I don't know what a Laker is. Is someone put it on the poll? Do you know whether a Laker is someone who works on the lake, lives on the lake, or other?
But what's a 76er, though?
The boat is apparently called the Laker. The boat that does its work on the lake is called the Laker.
What's a heat?
I don't know. A Laker sounds to me like someone who celebrates a bogus championship.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was proud of that one. Did you?
He gave the.
I'm so tired of it.
He was impressed with himself.
He should be. It was another good saying.
Thank you.
So you don't have an issue with you don't have an issue with these Minneapolis banners hanging up in the crypto.com arena. Did you have an issue with what we saw on Sunday where the Houston Texans were playing the Tennessee Titans, but the Tennessee Titans were dressed like the Houston Oilers?
I mean, Daddy just asked you a question.
I like those unis, man.
They were born in Houston. I mean, the Titans were the Oilers, right?
Yeah, but it just feels wrong when Houston is trying to mount a comeback against the Oilers.
Right.
And when Modell moved the Browns
Those
to Baltimore,
uniforms are beautiful,
So
by the way. I
nice.
can't help but
Yes.
fall in love
They are great.
every time I see those Oilers, old Houston Oiler
The
uniforms.
Derrick logo is fantastic.
And I do understand that the Tennessee Titans were the Tennessee Oilers for a brief moment in time, but I would love to see the NFL restore the history of the Oilers, because I know the argument from the Addams family would be that it was made by the Oilers franchise, but that history was also made in Houston. And I feel like the NFL should broker an agreement that reflects that of the Cleveland Browns, where the Browns get to keep all their history and the Ravens are essentially treated as an expansion team and they don't keep any of the Browns' history.
I mean, there's that situation for most franchises, right? I mean, didn't the Chicago Bears begin as the Chicago Cardinals?
Yeah, you also have the Indianapolis Colts that maintain all the history of the Baltimore Colts.
Do you feel any remorse whatsoever at the profound disrespect that you launched for no reason at the late Miami Heat trainer Ron Culp?
Took a stray.
He does have a banner.
I don't.
In my defense, I said he earned it.
Everyone has a banner there.
But do you not feel it? One of the things Mike McDaniel was quoted here this weekend is he's told everybody who's saying the Dolphins haven't beat any winning teams, and this game against the Cowboys features a game with teams that have won 20 games and haven't played anybody in a way that no game in the NFL has ever looked like that. And Mike McDaniel said, all due respect, he's told everyone to bleep off and told the players to tell others to bleep off. And I don't think you can say, no disrespect, tell everyone to bleep off any more than you can say, no disrespect, but the late Ron Culp, his banner shouldn't be respected the way other banners are.
It just feels that ridiculous to me, having that much anger over an accomplishment being acknowledged on the IST.
They're the ones trying to rank banners, okay? We're cool with all these banners. They're the ones over here. This banner's allowed, but that banner has to be this separated from that banner.
There's a lot of anger here between you and your dad that I don't think is about banners.
Stugotz was doing the banner
No,
thing.
it is deep-seated, but it's also
Thank you.
the added bonus of not caring about this tournament at all, but caring deeply about the banners. Stugotz, you have heard me say over the years that the quarterback's job I have seen for a long time now as public-facing face of a team and voice for a team is to get in front of the cameras and say a whole lot of nothing that will become headlines or distractions or anything. But you are marched out all the time in emotional circumstances to say something about why you've lost the football game, and you have to come up with something that is so benign that it doesn't land too hard on your teammate's head. You have to take the responsibility for it, whether it's true or not. And really, I believe every quarterback is going into these press conferences with, let me just get out of here without saying anything. Let me just endure this press conference. Jalen Hurts, after that loss yesterday, he's playing kind of hurt, as everyone is this time of year. He's playing kind of sick. The Philadelphia Eagles have fallen some from where it is they were at 10-1. They have lost now 4 times, and the Seattle Seahawks are making fun of them on social media. Once upon a time, the Jets put up a meme of who's the only team in the NFL to have beaten the Eagles, and it was the Will Smith meme in an empty room, and it was just the Jets. But now the 49ers are in there. Now the Seahawks are in there.
The Cowboys.
And after the game, Jalen Hurts said something that I hope lands on Jason Kelce the way it would have landed on Travis Kelce if Mahomes had said it of Travis Kelce. Jalen Hurts said, we're losing because we've got players who aren't committed enough. and his center's the one doing a podcast that could be termed a distraction under these circumstances. And Stugotz warned you that this will be what's coming for Travis Kelce.
Yep.
If his play falls, and if the Chiefs have fallen some, the criticism that they're not committed enough. What do you make of Jalen Hurts getting at microphones after a 2017 loss in which Jason Kelce has again gotten a major penalty, a penalty where he was told many times by referees, we're going to start calling it if you keep moving that ball up when you're beginning to take the snap and you keep advancing the ball. We're going to call something on you.
They've called it on him a few times already. So, yes, they've been warning him and telling him, hey, we're going to call it.
So what are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts saying those words and then headed back into a locker room where he's making it look to his teammates like he's more committed than they are? Is that leadership, or is that something that he shouldn't have said?
Well, do we know that he is specifically calling out Jason Kelce?
No, but it applies. Once you say it's of your locker room,
that's where people go.
I'm just saying it gets draped on everybody. I'm not saying that's where people go. I'm saying he's a famous Kelce who's got a famous distraction.
I think Jalen Hurts is an incredible leader, a really good quarterback, probably a top 6 or 7 quarterback in the NFL. And if he feels that guys in his locker room are not giving the same sort of effort that he is giving, I'm okay with the leader of that team, the guy who took them to a Super Bowl, outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl, even while losing that Super Bowl. I'm okay with him calling his teammates out.
He scored 17 points in this game, and their offense hasn't been what it was.
That's a boiling point to built-up frustration, right? I mean, when you're 10-1 and all of a sudden you lose 3 games in a row, something's wrong. You see your Super Bowl slipping away, and you're frustrated. And your quarterback's been injured a lot, playing through pain. And it's not usual for 2 stars in the NFL to have a podcast during the season. It's not the norm. I mean, Tyreek Hill has a podcast for a couple of months during the offseason, but once training camp comes, he puts the podcast to bed and concentrates on his real job. And if you're the Kelce brothers, you have every right to be second-guessed if things aren't going right on the field. Why are you doing a podcast? You know, because it does take effort. I mean, look at the Greg Cote Show podcast.
Travis Kelce
every Monday.
Travis
I mean,
Kelce has said
effort.
it's the hardest job in the world, podcast.
It's not just the podcast. It's why are you shooting so many commercials? Why aren't you invested the way you used to be invested in this team and this thing that we all do together?
We are rattling off some high achievers when we reference NFL players that have in-season podcasts like Micah Parsons, Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce. These are guys. Those are 3 guys that you would say might be at the top of their positions in the NFL.
No, Mike, they are, and they could do the podcast. That's fine. The reason I said what I said about Travis weeks ago was I was warning him of what's going to happen if their teams start losing.
Tyreek Hill does release episodes throughout the course of the
He released an
regular
episode
season.
on December 7th, November 30th, November 24th.
Yeah,
that he didn't last year. I don't believe.
He works
I think
more
that's
than
different.
you do on your Back in My Days.
I understand why we're all assuming that he's talking about Jason Kelce, because I struggle to find who else he might be talking about. Like, does he have a problem with Boston Scott? I'm not exactly sure. Jalen Hurts has been turning the ball over plenty, and that happened before he got sick with the flu. It might be tied to his injuries. Jason Kelce actually had a great postgame quote where he took full responsibility because he got penalized as they tried to do the brotherly shove at the goal line. He got penalized for moving the football, and he says, the officials have been warning me for years that I've been doing that. I have to stop doing that. I think part of the problem yesterday wasn't necessarily so much focus as it was you kept calling tight end screens with Quez Watkins and Devontae Smith as your lead blockers.
They shouldn't warn him. They should only call it the final play of the game.
Pete Carroll is 8-0 against the Eagles.
And he was doing his best to lose that game.
Yes, he was.
He had a moment. And I've never seen a coach from an opposing sideline be so confused at another coach's tactic that he looked across the field and said, "What are you even doing?"
That's Sirianni. Sirianni looked around. He looked like Taffer from the Bar Rescue Show, looking around the referee saying, "What are you doing?" He is such a wonderful meathead. Sirianni feels maximum Philadelphia meathead.
Yeah, it's great when you're winning, though, Dan. But I'm telling you, Eagle fans are going to come down on him as well. They're going to.
It's less wonderful when you're losing to Drew Lock, and he's giving you. Drew Lock gave you the most emotional post-game interview anyone's ever given after
it was great.
winning a
cute.
regular season thing.
I would love to know, because Seattle's been running pretty much the exact same defense in the secondary as long as Pete Carroll's been alive, right? Like, that is his.
It's all Pete knows. Yeah.
It is his tactic. What showed up in the film that called for multiple plays, be it pitch, be it swing routes? What showed up on film that said, I have to get Dallas Goedert in space coming off an injury with two of the most slender wide receivers in the league as his lead blockers? What?
It's a good question. I thought Goddard would have a better game. I thought Hurts would have a better game. I thought that Kenneth Walker wasn't going to be able to run all over the Philadelphia defense.
Meanwhile, they have 2 games left with the Giants, 1 with the Commanders. They'll be 14-3.
They'll get right.
4, right? They've lost 4?
Yeah.
They'll get
4,
right.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
They'll get right. But the turnovers with them are a big issue. From 2 games, I think the Cowboys are better in head-to-head competition against the Philadelphia Eagles. They should have won that game. The only difference between that game and the one that happened in Dallas was Philadelphia got all the fumbles that they lost in the first matchup. They fumbled the ball 3 times and just were so happen to be lucky enough to land on their own fumbles.
There's 8 teams that can consider themselves Super Bowl contenders. 7 of them have flaws. San Francisco seems to be the only team that is truly balanced. Run, pass, offense, defense. The 7 other teams, including Philadelphia, Dallas, Miami, they all have weaknesses. And so I think any of 8 teams can win the Super Bowl, which is delightful.
I like that he's pointing out that of the 7 teams, 2 of them are viewed, Dallas and Miami, as fraudy teams that haven't beaten anybody. And I love Stugotz's point of, you know why they haven't beaten anybody good? Because no one's good. Because there are so few good teams that basically the Dolphins or the Cowboys can win the game when they play each other, and someone will say they haven't beaten anyone good. Because
that game's for everything,
so many people were out there calling the Eagles a fraud, and I'm like, we're real quick with fraud these days if you've lost 3 or 4 games. Like, if you lose 3 or 4 games in that sport, at this point in the season, you're a good football team. Like, you don't call those teams frauds.
I mean, you're kind of doing that, though, saying the Cowboys haven't beaten a good team, right? I mean, they beat the Eagles.
I'm saying everyone's doing that as the Cowboys' flaw. They're saying they can only win at home, but if they go on the road against a good team, it's going to be check down Charlie is what Dak's going to do.
The Eagles beat Dallas. They beat Kansas City. They beat Buffalo. I mean, what are we doing?
But they haven't won in December.
They lost to the Jets. Have some bad losses.
Flawed league with flawed teams, and no one's beaten anybody, and we love it and can't get enough. Right. And speaking of
and
which,
here comes Josh Allen. I mean,
that's right. I wanted to talk college football here with Lucy and Mike real quick. What's going on at Oregon and at Minnesota? People are complaining that we're talking too much college football around here because of how Jessica and Lucy love college football. Guilty as charged.
Yeah, you're welcome for the last 17 years where we didn't give the sport the proper respect, because right now the sport is on some uneven ground, and it's on the precipice of a gigantic change, and there's things happening that we've never seen before, and we don't talk about it nearly enough.
What could possibly be going on in Minnesota?
So Minnesota is having some issues with their quarterback. They're playing in the Quick Lane Bowl, and their quarterback they thought was going to play in this bowl decided to enter the transfer portal, and they only had one option left, and he was like, hey, I'm about to get married, move to Arizona, I'm done, I'm out. And they were like, well, this isn't good. We don't have a single quarterback. So allegedly, they paid him, or the NIL fund paid him $30,000 to play in the Quick Lane Bowl. Wow, good for him. This is the best sport. The best sport.
Not enough. They're not paying him enough.
It'll be his first collegiate start ever. $30,000.
You can make so much money if you're a real serious gambler and you want to go through with a fine-tooth comb all the portal issues, all the NFL draft issues that these teams have, because, you know, talk of Old Dominion's transfer portal talk, that's very niche. Find out this information because there are so many players missing. What's happening in Oregon is fascinating. What Dan Lanning did in the transfer portal is he got not one but 2 of the most coveted quarterbacks. In this game of musical chairs, they somehow landed Gabriel and more, the transfer from UCLA. So they have their succession plan already in place. It's very clear that while there are checks bouncing all over this great nation in college football, Uncle Phil's checks are not.
I don't know what it is about this Oregon team. They make me so excited. I look at Dan Lanning and I really think that he is in that next stage of one day when, Nick Saban is done, is going to be Kirby Smart and Dan Lanning. I think he's a phenomenal recruiter. I think he's a great coach. Oregon still has a few kinks to work out, but you have two of the best quarterbacks in college football, a great offense, and now you're going into a conference that's very weird, very different, and I just love Oregon. I love them, and I'm so excited for this season. And this one's not even over yet.
You're already excited for next season.
The best part yet to come.
How are you already excited for next season when it's the best season of all? It's bowl season right now.
I can be excited for both.
Greg Cote, you seem crushed.
I'm not crushed. Bowl season needs to go away. Okay, I just read now that the Heisman Trophy winner is skipping his
This
bowl
is the
game.
new and unimproved LeBatardShow with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.